everybody, and welcome to F1 Tonight UK. And joining me in the commentary box this evening is Guido Buddha Erschen. Good evening, Guido.
Good evening.
How are we this evening, sir?
Well, I have to say, I had some Chinese food, but now I'm fine.
No comment on that one then. Right, okay, let's get started. Where are we this evening? Well, we are at the Marina Bay circuit here in Singapore. So let's kick off with having a look at the driver standings as they are at this moment in time. So leading the way is Dylan Platt on 264 points. Second is Tom Stevens on 190. Third is Sean Gregory on 151. Fourth is Phil Harris on 128. And 5 is Callum White on 114. Then we have Ryan Lear in 6, Gary McKenny in 7, Ross Milburn in 8, Jake Sorrell in 9, Tony Foster in 10, 11 is Sean Street, 12 is Adrian Rich, 13 is Jamie Good, 14 is Cameron Widdowson, 15 is Josh Diggles, 16 is Jack Wilson, 17 is Matt Goodyear, 18 is Kyle Jackson, 19 is, good question because I can't remember his name. Lee Pratt, I think it is. And Connor Hughes is in 20. Pretty sure it's Lee Pratt anyway.
Well, something went wrong here, Woods, because I'm in a car.
You chose the wrong one then. You need to jump out because you should have gone spectate. You can jump out and just go spectate. There is a spare car there. It's taken you. It's put you in the car. You can go in the car if you want, Guido. Doesn't bother me. Although the boys might be a little bit surprised by it, I've got to say. I don't know what you think on that.
Well, I was surprised to get in there because I obviously I pressed on spectate, so I was, well, you know, and it put me in the McLaren as well. So there's something about karma there.
You can't complain about that one. No, right, let's have a look at this championship quickly. Obviously, Dylan Platt streaking ahead at the moment, 74 points ahead of Tom Stevens. 41 points, I do apologise. 39 points between Sean Gregory and Tom Stevens, and Phil Harris is another 23 points behind Sean Gregory. Still pretty close. We are on race 15, so there are 6 races remaining, including this one. So all still very much to play for, very close in that lower field and in the midfield as well. So plenty of points still to be gained by the teams. Let's have a look now at the Constructors' Championship. Leading the way are Alfa Romeo on 347. Second are Mercedes on 304. Third are Toro Rosso on 229. Fourth are Rocket Williams on 138. Fifth are Ferrari on 117. Then we have McLaren in 6. 7 is a Racing Point, 8 is a Red Bull, 9 is Haas, and 10 is a Renault. Obviously, still a lot to play for in this Constructors' Championship. Very close still, certainly between Mercedes and Alfa Romeo. So, again, it's all about the points now in these remaining 6 races. It still could be taken away from Alfa Romeo potentially, but anything can happen. And it certainly normally does, and this is one of those circuits for that. And speaking of circuits, let's have a look at the circuit. 23 corners. This is probably next to, I don't know, just trying to think. Next to, obviously, as a street. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the one which is
Abu Dhabi.
No, not Abu Dhabi.
You mean?
Yes.
Oh God.
Yeah, I know, you've lost it as well. It'll come to you.
Sing it. Azerbaijan.
No, not Azerbaijan. Oh, my goodness me. Never mind. Circuit length, 3.146 miles. Race length is 191.821 miles, and we're looking at 61 laps. Monaco is what I was going to refer to. I kept thinking of Monza because we were in Monza last week. Very similar. I say similar. It's a tough track like Monaco is, although it's a tough track in different ways. We'll run through the corners. Sector 1 obviously starts us on the finish line, takes us up to turn 1, which is the shearer's corner. Then you've got the right-hander of 2 into that all dogleg hairpin, I'd say, left of 3. Little kink into 4, and then you've got that really hazardous 5. That leads you up to Raffles Boulevard, which is turn 6. And as you're approaching turn 7, you then come into sector 2, 7 Memorial Corner. Then you've got the right-hander of Stanford, turn 8, left-hander of Padang, 9. Leads you down to the wonderfully named turn 10, Singapore Sling, which is almost like a sort of double corner, effectively. Then you come round turn 11, Anderson Bridge. Dogleg left, you've got Anderson Bridge, very tricky, especially as you're coming off the bridge, coming into turn 13. Then you've got that long straight, the Connaught leads you down to turn 14. That's the start of the 3rd sector. And then that takes you around to the start-finish line, coming around Esplanade Bay, going underneath the bridge, etc., etc. 3 DRS points. First DRS point is on that Raffles Boulevard, detection point just after turn 4, and that ignites on the exit more or less of turn 5, takes you around turn 6 down to turn 7. Second DRS is just as you're going over Anderson Bridge, and that activates on the exit of turn 13, leading down to turn 14 Connaught and into the start of the 3rd sector. And then the 3rd and final DRS detection point is as you're coming out of turn 21, approaching the penultimate turn 22. And that activates on the start-finish straight, taking you down to that Shearer's straight. It is a hell of a tricky track. I mean, Azerbaijan, you made comment on, that certainly has a very tricky middle sector. But really, there isn't any sector here where you don't have tricky corners. It is a full-on street circuit. And as I say, I'd compare it to Monaco, really.
Yeah, Monaco is a bit tighter. This is pretty much an unforgiving track.
Yeah.
As usually all street circuits are, because there is no room on the sides. But I think sector 1, the long straights, there you have a little room. And as the Red Bull is going just through those corners, you see there's a little room on the sides as well. A very it's one I really love. It's a track that, well, I don't know, suits the tight driving, you know, and as I said, one mistake just is unforgiving.
Yeah, it is definitely unforgiving. Okay, well, I did a quick little jump there, but I'm going to jump across now, just give you a little clip of what's happening from a previous race while I get online with the guys. And Guido, if you could just run through the runners and riders for us so that we know who's out there on track while I do that, please.
Well, I have to do that. Well, let me see. We're used to using. I know. Yeah. I know.
It's going to be one of those nights, Guido. It's going to be one of those nights, I can tell. We had Xbox issues before we started with some of the guys and updates, etc. But anyway, I am now back. I was merrily chattering away and none of you could hear me. So what I was saying is we got 16 drivers with us this evening. So one driver will be dropped in this Q1 session. Please ignore driver 17, that's Guido Erschen. He's actually in the commentary box with me at this moment in time. So unless he's going to do both, which I don't think, although saying that, Gary McKenny would probably be happy with that. He's not able to race this evening, so Gary
you
McKenny...
probably would hear me screaming all the time when I'm going to get in the corner. I can't talk when I'm driving. So,
Gary... Oh dear, I've got to laugh. It's the only way I could do it. Okay, so just having a look here at the driver lineup for this evening. We got right, let's have a look at this. Where are we? Driver lineup. So we've got Lee. Go on then, you do it.
I see. I just found it on the Discord, otherwise I wouldn't do it. It says we have Tom Stevens and Callum White. So on the Ferrari we have Tony Foster Jakes.
Yep.
For the Red Bull is Lee Pratt.
It is Lee Pratt. Yeah, I wasn't too sure if that was correct. Yeah.
And our good friend and co-commentator for you on a Thursday night, it's Adrian Rich. And the beautiful cars, the McLarens, it's Gary McKenny, Cameron Whitterson, but there's only.
Gary McKenny is not racing.
By me.
Yeah, Gary McKenny is not racing, so it's only Cameron Whitterson this evening. So let's. In fact, I'll run through. Lee Pratt, actually, I'm just looking at this and just wanted to check I've got it right. Lee Pratt's actually set the fastest provisional lap at this moment in time, and he's done an absolutely blinding time of 1:36.4. 1:36.9 is Matt Goodyear in the Haas. Sean Street in the Racing Point, 1:37.0. Josh Diggles in the Haas, 1:37.4. Ryan Leah in the Alfa Romeo, 1:37.7. Tony Foster in the Ferrari, 1:37.7. Tom Stevens in the Mercedes, 1:38 dead. Callum White, 1:38.1. Dylan Platt, 1:38.5. Cameron Whitterson in the McLaren, 1:38.8. Phil Harris in the Williams, 1:39.1. Jake Sorrell in the Ferrari, 1:41.5. Carl Jackson in the Renault, 1:44.1. Jamie Good has gone out. Adrian Rich is on track at this moment in time. And Guido Erschen is in the pit. Well, he's not really. He's actually in the commentary box with me. But yeah, so 16 drivers. Jamie Good has already gone out. So that effectively eliminates that driver 16. Jamie Good will be starting in P16. Adrian Rich is out on track at this moment to set a time. But yes, this is going to be interesting. Obviously, bit unknown quantity, Lee Pratt, but put in a good start there. We've got 6 minutes remaining in this Q3 session. Ross Milburn has jumped up to provisional P1 with a 1:36.372. Everybody bar 4 drivers out on the softs. Phil Harris, Tom Stevens, Callum White and Dylan Platt all gone for the hards, but it's quite normal for us to see Dylan Platt especially on this first run out on the hards, isn't it, Guido, if you recall from last week and the previous week that we commentated on?
Oh yeah, with the harder compounds.
Yeah.
I still can't understand how you can be so fast on those compounds compared to the other guys. I think it's I don't know if you say it like that, but it's one of those virtues that you have the capability to drive like that and take full advantage of the wide wall tires.
Yeah, definitely, and it's great if you can, and especially on a track like this. Adrian Rich just coming around now to come towards the Anderson Bridge, just going around Singapore Sling. Over the Anderson Bridge now, coming down to turn 13, that left-hander. And we've got the straight there with that DRS, bringing you down towards turn 14, that hard right Connaught. Watch it on the exit, you've got to go right over on the left-hand side, you've got to be careful not to go too far. And then you come into this really tricky third sector, 15, 16, 17 Esplanade, down towards Bay now, hard left under the bridge, hard right, turn 19, hard right again, turn 20, and then that hard left 21. Got the DRS detection there as you come around the penultimate turn, turn 22, on to 23, what's he done? He won 38.3, so that puts him in provisional P12 at this moment in time. So, let's see if
number 8 to 11, they have the white walls on, so they are faster than
James Sorrell just coming round Connaught 14. Oh, and he's made contact with the barrier as he came out of 14. You say he went right up to the left-hand side, had to correct. Unfortunately, overcorrected and ended up in the barrier on the right-hand side there. So, oh dear, he's warping big time. Just looked like he got swallowed by a track. This track obviously renowned in the real world for being a very bumpy track. Is that something that you actually have come across on the track in the F1 game or not?
No, not really. I don't have a feeling that it's... Oh, he's glitching big time. Fake shoulders. No, not really. It's I make full use of the curves. And you feel it there, but the tarmac is flat as a baby's bum, I guess.
Yeah. But baby's bums do tend to be somewhat rounded, to be fair.
Yeah, well, yes.
Yeah, and with a great big crease in the middle, I've noticed.
Oh yeah, I know what it is. Whatever. Okay. It is going to be one of those nights, I guess.
Basically just quitting out. Yeah, let's change subject quickly. 2 minutes 40 of this session remaining. Most everybody is in the pits. Oh, Dylan Platt is actually... oh, no, he was out on track. He's coming into the pits as well. Adrian Rich is on his warm-down lap, effectively. Dylan's retired from the session. I think most of the guys probably will, just to get into this Q2 session. So just to remind you, Jamie Good has dropped, so he, well, mind you saying that, yeah, Carl Jackson has set a time, so I don't know if Jamie Good will actually go through or not, because Carl Jackson set a 1:44.1, so it could be that he might actually go through. Be interesting to see what happens on that.
Yeah, I'm just wondering on the technical
side. The chat group is going nuts at this moment in time.
Is it?
Yes.
Because I'm just wondering if my car is going to start on the grid while I'm not even in there.
It probably might. So you need to retire. Just having a look on here.
I can't, because if I retire, then I'm going to be in the car again.
I have to retire from the race, so I can see what happens. I think you will be included though, irrespective. So, yeah.
Well, I guess it's going to be one of those nights, because I saw there were glitches everywhere.
Yeah,
before you started, you said everybody was updating.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I pressed on the spectator button.
You were on spectate, but then it flipped for some unknown reason, so it could have been just a flick of the button. So it does happen, these technical issues.
Does it?
It certainly does.
Yeah, tell me about it. Oh no, we're going to tell you people about it. It does happen. But in the end, it's going to be a great race. It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be very, very interesting. Obviously, with the likes of Dylan Platt, as I said, Tom Stevens has pretty much laid down the gauntlet that he's looking to take that title. But he's got a lot of work cut out for him. 74 points the deficit.
Yeah. Well, I think I said this before, but it's doable for everybody still in the top row.
That's true.
They still can, you know, especially on a track like this, a small mistake is easily made. And parts will fly everywhere. People got to get in, get new noses, and there you go.
Right, just to give you an update, Guido, what you need to do is when the race starts, you need to pause and retire the car.
Yeah, okay.
So that's all sorted. Oh, interesting. You might cause a safety car. That'd be interesting for the start. Still, guys are winding down now. Jake Sorrell, the only man out on track, looks like he's trying to get in as much practice as he can. So we'll get back to normal in Q2. This is F1 Tonight UK. Season 1, race 15 here at the Marina Bay circuit in Singapore. Fortunately, the drivers don't have to pick up with the real world humidity. Although I have been assured by a number of drivers that when it comes to weight loss or, let's say, fluid loss, you get quite a lot of sweating going on when you're sitting even in a sim chair.
Yeah, if you drive it in the summer.
So just see who's going to be dropped. Yeah, Carl Jackson does indeed get to 16. So Jamie Good will have an opportunity in race 2. And Guido, you're starting at the back of the grid. You didn't even go out. That's disgusting.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Probably be 17th anyway.
I think Jamie may be having connection issues because he's actually jumped out. So bear with us. There does seem to be some connection issues that might affect, hopefully not the race. We will see as the guys get underway. So going into this Q2 session now. This should sort out the men from boys. Remember, Q2, we go from the 15 drivers down to the final 10. And they will go into the Q3 to decide their positions on the grid. Those top 10 drivers, or the top 10 fastest drivers that go through to Q3, will be starting the race on the tyre with which they set their fastest lap. So I hope that's as clear as mud. For those of you that obviously already know that, then I'm stating the obvious. For those of you that don't, then I'm not stating the obvious, but there you go. So it looks to me like Jake Sorrell is the first man out. I think Tom Stevens is behind him. So just waiting for the guys to actually get out on track so we can see. Looks like Dylan Platt coming out of his track there in the Alfa Romeo. Wasn't Jake Sorrell, it was actually Tony Foster's first man out on track. So we are on board with Tony Foster in the Ferrari. And Tony Foster currently sitting 10 in the Drivers' Championship, smack bang in the middle. Very, very consistent driver, Tony. Not necessarily always up there in the double points, but certainly always in the points, always accumulating points. And that is exactly why he's sitting in that midfield position at this moment in time on 10 points. Very competent driver, not necessarily the fastest, but good, solid driver. Completes the races, always there, isn't he, Tony?
Yeah. I don't think that being the fastest driver, obviously, it's fine if you do that, but in a competition like this, it's the feeling is great just to finish a race and try and get better every season. Because our league that's been going on for the 6th season now, I basically started in the back, and now you're pulling up to, I'm pulling up to 7th, 8th place, and you know, you just learn as you go on, and you will get faster.
That is very, very true indeed. So Tony Foster coming round now, getting ready to start his fast lap. As he is the first man out on track, let's go on board with him. So, comes down to turn 1 at the end of this straight series, left-hander, then straight away, turn 2 right, then that dog leg sort of hairpin, almost turn 3, little kick there, 4. Now he comes down to that right-hander of 5. He's got the DRS as he comes out of turn 6. Sorry, turn 5, which is a little bit further down this straight now.
Yeah. Taking it wide, good.
Nice one.
So he's taking every corner.
He's using as much width as he can on there, isn't he?
Exactly.
Around the corner now.
That's a hit on the right side. Don't know if he damaged something there.
Round Padang. Singapore Sling over the Anderson Bridge. Round turn 13 now. that straight going down towards turn 14, Connaught. Hard right here, watch it as he goes in, tight on the left.
Nice.
Comes out, watch the exit there, nicely done.
Oh, a little lock up.
Round 17 now, coming down to turn 19 Bay, under the grandstand. Round 19 into 20. And this is looking smooth, I've got to say, it's a very smooth run for him.
Yeah. It's starting to rain.
It's starting to rain, it is indeed. So Tony Foster crosses the line. Tom Stevens sets a 136.2. Tony Foster 137.8. Dylan Platt is coming round now. What's he done? And he's set a 136.5. Brian Lear sets a 137.6. And with this rain coming down, I've got to say I'm a little bit surprised, but is it staying or is it's just a few little drops here? I don't think it's going to necessarily affect the guys. Oh, I don't know, it is. I think it will do. It'll make it greasy, won't it?
Yeah. You know, the guys that set the first fast lap there will be in a good spot, because obviously if it gets any wetter, you will never be able to get that pace.
Yeah, well, Callum White's got provisional 4 now to 136.5. Matt Goodyear in a Haas, 136.9, he's in 5. Sorry, Callum White is in 4. 5, Matt Goodyear. 6, Ross Milburn with a 137.0. Sean Street in the Racing Point, 137.5. Ryan Lear's now dropped down to 8. Tony Foster down to 9. Lee Pratt is coming round now. And he's just come around 13, going down towards Connaught. But, sorry, no, I apologise. He's actually coming around Singapore's Sling. Just about now to go over the Anderson Bridge. Coming down to turn 13 now, and he's definitely being affected by this. Yeah, these guys at these times are definitely slowing down. Yellow flag in sector 2. Don't know who that is.
I'm gonna check that. Oh, I can't see it anymore. What happened there? They're probably backing off a bit,
yeah,
to make a bit of space. Because Callum White, is that the right one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ross Milburn is right on his tail, and I don't know why, but I have the idea that that Ross Milburn wants to go past him or go by him, but it either doesn't work, or they're both in their fast laps, or just I have no idea.
Yeah, that's Callum White ahead of Ross Milburn at this moment in time. But these times have definitely come down now, and guys even having problems getting across without any penalties and effectively cancelling out their laps. Yeah, both the Mercedes and the Toro Rosso into the pits. So this is going to be interesting to see how this pans out. Adrian Rich is now on an out lap.
Yes.
So he's just coming under the grandstands round turn 21. Sorry, 20 now into 21. So he's coming
to get. Oh, there's Sparks there.
There's debris there on the track.
Yeah.
So he's going to go for a fast lap. Let's go on board. So it's going to be tricky. He's on the red softwall tyres.
That might be another one.
His track is definitely greasy. Yellow flags being waved there in sector 1. Yeah. Car slowing down Cameron Woodson to let Adrian through on his fast lap.
Oh, that's a bit oversteer.
Yeah. Just coming down to turn 7 Memorial Corner, hard left.
Oh,
Doors looking good.
Nice.
Now hard right into Stamford, turn 8. Then a hard left. Oh, nearly loses it around 9 now into Padang. Gets on that straight down towards turn 10. I love this turn, Singapore Sling. Love the name as well. Launches you, and it is a sling as it launches you round 11, 12 over the bridge. Oh! dearie me.
That's what happens.
Pushed it a little bit too much there, Adrian Rich.
Adrian.
And into the barrier as he exited turn 12. So he's going to be a little bit disappointed with that, I think.
I think we all are.
Yeah, indeed.
But that was, you know, in the end, that's what will happen. Because I don't know how wet it is, but it seems to be a little bit slower, the rain. But then again, it will. Well, it starts to rain a little bit harder, but it will get even more slippery.
Well, this rain does not look as if it's going to be abating, so Phil Harris in the meantime, sorry we missed that, and I don't know how, but he set a 1:36.1, went to the provisional first place in this Q2, and yeah, I don't think that's going to be easily beaten, as Cameron Widdowson lost it into turn 19 Bay, went off the run off there, just couldn't brake in time, I think, so yeah, he's got no damage to his car though, which is the important thing.
Retired. I think it could be possible for the other guys then to take an intermediate and see what that does.
Well, I don't know, because it's not intermediate. I don't think intermediate's going to help him, and it's certainly going to be any faster. I mean, these guys now, I mean, Cameron Widdowson coming into the pits, he needs to beat the time set by Jake Sorrell, which is a 1:43.1. And I've got to say, Cameron Widdowson, Lee Pratt and Josh Diggles are the boys that are in the drop zone at this moment in time, because they haven't set any times. But it's going to be very, very tough for them. Lee Pratt coming around now. Lee Pratt, new to the league, started last week in Monza. So hasn't picked up any points as yet. But let's see what... Oh, dearie me, that is not what he wanted to do. Just as he was about to start his fast lap, lost it on the exit of turn 23, the final turn, tried to correct, but unfortunately overcorrected, or just lost control, went straight into the barrier, as you saw there. So we're seeing action in the queues before they even race here, Guido.
Please let it rain in the race. Not in the beginning, but a little bit in the middle.
It might make it interesting.
Oh, it would make it awesome. Don't know what he's going out as yet. Will somebody go out? We got 4 minutes left on Q2. Will they gamble with the intermediates? I don't think so as well as yet, but I don't really see anybody returning.
There's nobody really going out at this moment in time. Lee Pratt's obviously gone out. Josh Diggles is in the pits. I can't see him coming out. It's going to be, well, we've got 3 minutes remaining. The rain did come somewhat suddenly. Will it abate? Will it give enough time? I can't see it happening. I mean, once they hit 3 minutes, you've got to go out, do your out lap, and then do a fast lap. I suppose you could push it once it gets to 2 minutes, but is it worth waiting that minute and a half? I don't know. It's difficult to say. I think Josh is just trying to weigh it up at this moment in time.
I think you're going to have to make a choice, but it will probably be too late now. You have to go out of the pits. You have to drive in wet weather. Just retire the car, boys. Retire the car.
Yeah, I've got a sneaking suspicion you could be right there, Guido, because it is not looking good at this moment in time. Well, I mean, that's very interesting. I mean, just trying to think, is rain a common thing here in Singapore? I don't think it is, actually.
No, I don't think so. But then again, we got 2.5 minutes to talk about food now, because nobody's going out.
What do we want to talk about food for?
I don't know. Last time you were talking about Portuguese food.
Was I? God, I don't know. I must have gone off on a tangent. I mean, I go off on a few tangents, it's got to be said, but I don't know if I went off on that one that far.
Oh,
I mean, I'm just looking at this. I mean, Callum White did go on to the intermediates, decided not to come out there. Interesting thing here is we've got Phil Harris, Tom Stevens, both on the softs. Dylan Platt has gone for the medium. Dylan does seem to prefer going for the longer stint to start, and I've got to say, normally it does serve him pretty well. Everybody else in that top 10 is on the softs. Although Callum White and Ross Milburn have gone on to the intermediates, I don't think they set their fast laps on those tyres. I think I'm not sure, but I think Ross Milburn was on the soft, and I think Cameron Wilson was actually on the medium, but we will see, obviously, once the start of the race comes. But at this moment in time, Dylan Platt and Callum White are the two drivers that will be starting on the mediums for the start of the race in the top 10. Obviously, they still have to decide their top 10 positions in the final Q3 session, and it's all going to be a question as well. Is it still going to be raining? Because most of these guys, I would suspect, are set up for dry conditions on their cars, and there's little that you can change now that you're in the queues, isn't there?
No, you can't do anything right now, but it's the question is in Q3, will it be wet as well?
Yeah, that's it.
It's just, it would make it interesting, but then this was more interesting because everybody got out already on the dry tires, and then the rain started. Yeah. So that's what really messed things up.
The guys that were out early, certainly, they benefited.
They were lucky, yeah. They were, well, not lucky, but they got a benefit from that. Yeah, that's true.
They definitely benefited.
Definitely, yeah.
So looks like we are going to go all the way. I think some of the guys may have connection issues, which they're probably using this time to resolve that. Checking the chat on here. For those of you that are watching on YouTube or indeed on Twitch, apologies that we don't have anybody present as yet in the chat room. That is something that we are working towards, and we're hoping to have a resolution to that for the forthcoming Season 7 and Season 2, which will be starting in February. But we will keep you posted on that. And we've got some events coming up between the Christmas and New Year, hopefully, if we can get it all sorted out. And also we've got some interleague championships coming up. So it's all going to be very interesting. We've got Super League Championship, but we will keep you informed of that. And I think we should have a better up-to-date for you for next week. So starting on the mediums will be Tom Stevens, Dylan Platt, Callum White and Ross Milburn. So those are the 4 drivers in that top 10 that will be starting on the medium tyre. The rest will be starting in the soft. Dropped are Cameron Widdowson, he'll be starting P11. And P12 will be Adrian Rich. And again, we'll run through those on the formation lap for you so you know who is who. So this is our top 10 and it's looking dry, it has to be said.
Oh. And it starts to rain in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Well, I hope so.
Everybody is on, as expected, the soft wall red tyre. 3 types of tyre in this season of 2009. Red is the softest compound, yellow medium is the intermediate compound, and hard white is the hardest compound, as it would suggest. First man out, I think, is Tom Stevens. Is it Callum White? No, it's actually the Haas of Matt Goodyear is leading the pack, and Callum White is behind him. And he's followed by Dylan Platt, and I think
he lost the wing already.
Oh dear, that's not good. Matt Goodyear on the exit of the pits has lost his end plate off his front left there, so that's not going to be good. I would suspect that Callum White is probably going to overtake him. Yes, he has. As he pulls aside there, obviously, he's going to need to come into the pits again.
That's a loss of time there.
Just trying to correct. See, it is Dylan Platt in the background there. So it's Dylan Platt. Is that Tony Foster? Dylan. Yes, it is. So Tony Foster is behind Dylan. Then we have Callum White leading the way, and Matt Goodyear's in the mix there as well. Matt Goodyear at the moment is between Callum White and Dylan Platt. So let's go on board with Callum White. When he starts, I'll change the camera angle. There we go. Callum White now coming round. Does that help, Guido?
I have no idea, but I had some complaints from, not complaints.
Comments.
They pointed us out that the sound was a bit louder.
Well, I've turned down the track volume, so hopefully that should resolve it. Obviously, always nice to have it in the background, though. Reminds you, I love the roaring of those engines. So, Callum White coming round for his fast lap now. Let's go on board with him. Coming now down the straight into turn 1, left-hander, then right, turn 2, turn 3. Oh, and he's already lost the plot there.
The track is still wet.
It is still wet. Tony Foster coming round now. Matt Goodyear. I can't get onto Matt Goodyear because he's in the pits. Yeah. I've got real issues here.
Ross Milburn is going in now for this first lap.
Tony Foster is the man leading the way at this moment in time. We've got Jake Sorrell, Dylan Platt and Ross Milburn in there as well.
Oh, this is a tricky track now. It was a tricky track already, but when it's still damp and, what is it, damp or moist or whatever you call it?
Damp.
It is damp, yeah. I was right. English is not that bad. Damp.
Damp.
Damp, sir.
Damp. Well, damp.
Oh, God.
Somewhat moist.
Oh, that's nice. Singapore Sling, as you mentioned it, is now going on to the bridge.
Hang on, we are on board with Dylan Platt at this moment in time.
So I'm giving around turn
14. Dylan Platt now closing in on the back, it looks like, of Tony Foster. They're coming round Bay. Round turn 20 now. Yeah, and it is Tony Foster that is ahead of him. So what they're going to do here, it's going to be interesting to see. Tony Foster crosses the line, 139. Dylan Platt has the 137.5. Jake Soul 138.9. Tony Foster 139.2. Ross Milburn coming round now. What does he do? It's invalidated. So Ross Milburn not there. Matt Goodyear is coming round now on his outlap. Tom Stevens is on his outlap. Where is he? He's just coming around the fire. Oh, he's already on his fast lap now, Tom Stevens. So let's stay with him. Round 4 coming down to turn 5 now.
He had a broken wing already.
He's got the DRS on the exit there, brings him down Raffles Boulevard, around that little kink there, turn 6. Coming down to turn 7, Memorial Corner, hard left. Open it up, brake into that hard right, Stamford turn 8. Accelerate, watch it as you come into that left of Padang, very tricky left-hand turn that, nicely done. Coming down now towards turn 10, that's Singapore Sling, that's sort of double corner, 10, 11, 12, over the bridge now. Coming down to hairpin 13, good entry exit there, good line, brings him down that straight again. He's got the DRS leading him down to turn 14, that's Connaught. Watch him go tight in on the left on the exit, then come out nicely controlled there. Round 15 into 16 now, that right-hander, left 17, 18.
Pull on the curves.
Nicely done. Into 19, Bay now, underneath the grandstand.
Oh.
Just taking it easy there. I think he had a bit of traction problem there, just took it very easy round there. Oh no, he's not happy. He's adjusting his settings there. He's not going to be happy with that. He's going to go again. I think he's actually exceeded track limits. So that's why he's done there. Sean Street is coming round now, coming down to Bay. Underneath the grandstand there. Good entry exit. Hard, these little tight turns here, aren't they? 20, 21. 22 though is always the one that catches me, 23. Comes across the line. Oh, look at that. 136.3. Nice. Good job there from Sean Street. Dylan Platt provisional second at this moment in time. Jake Sorrell is third. Tony Foster 4. So at this moment in time, we've got a Ferrari lockout for row 2. Row 3, P5, Ross Milburn provisionally, although he hasn't set a time. Ryan Lear still to set a time. Phil Harris is in the pits. Matt Goodyear is out on track. Tom Stevens just coming over Anderson Bridge into turn 13 now. Callum White is, where is he? He's just coming down round 4 into turn 5. So I think Phil Harris is into the pits, okay. Ryan Lear just coming out of 13. Tom Stevens will be the first man to actually cross the line.
Oh, I think he invalidated it.
Yeah, has he invalidated it? I'm not too sure.
I can't see that, but it looked like it.
I don't know. I think he still kept one of the tyres on the track, as long as one wheel is on the track. And when we're talking about exceeding track limits here, for those of you scratching your heads and not too sure what we're actually referring to, exceeding track limits is basically where you go off the track with all 4 wheels. As long as you keep one wheel on the track, you do not exceed the track limits. The limit is set by those white lines that you see either side of the track. So those are your track limits. So everything within that white line is the track. Everything outside the line is outside the track. So
yeah,
that's what you've got to be careful of.
We have the settings of the 100% race set on strict, as Coach Masters explained to us. That is the closest to real life racing in the F1 track as there is. That's
Callum
why
White coming into the pits as well. So a number of drivers there not happy with the setup at this moment in time. Ross Milburn is on his out lap. He's just come round 14 into 15, 16 now. So in that final sector, Phil Harris still in the pits, Matt Goodyear, Tom Stevens. Ryan Lear is out on track. He's provisional P2 now with a 137.2. His teammate's still in the pits. He's on a 137.5. Ross Milburn just coming around the final sets of corners now, getting ready for his fast lap.
Yeah.
Who are you going to call for the pole, Guido? We've got 2 minutes, 2 3/4 minutes remaining. Who are you going to call for that pole position?
I really can't tell, because there are a lot of drivers having problems with, and especially in sector 3, the last corners, you see everybody slipping and sliding. So I can't really say who's going to be on pole this time.
I mean, Sean Street set a convincing time there, 136.3. I mean, that's a pretty tough time to be, as it looks at this moment in time. That said, though, I'm going to go with Callum White, actually.
Yeah.
Although that said, he's still in the pit, so I don't even know if he's going to come out.
He's going out. He's going out now.
Yeah, they're all coming out now. Yeah. It's going to be. Yeah, I'm going to go with Callum White.
Because I see Dylan Platt still got his full ERS, so he's saving
on an
up
lap at this moment as well. Yeah.
And he's warming up. So the next lap he's gonna go for it. But anything goes still.
Yeah, I mean anything can happen, as we know, and it normally does, to be fair. So not the easiest one to call, and obviously with the track still greasy, it looked like from Q2, and I think that's the problem that guys were having. But it looks pretty solid now, I've got to say. Ross Milburn just coming round the penultimate turn, and this is looking a pretty good time. To 135.5 puts him in the provisional pole at this moment in time. But we've got a number of drivers coming round, and it's going to be interesting just trying to see who's going to be the first one across. I think it could be Dylan Platt.
Yeah, Dylan Platt's really warming up his tires really well, braking hard, and now he makes a place for Sean Street.
Yeah, looks like Jake Sorrell's got past him as well.
But he's warming up the car, he's warming up the tires, he's braking, he's punching the throttle, and he's just warming up the tires, letting everybody pass so he can go onto his fast lap. He's got 24 seconds left, and if he crosses the line, it's a valid lap.
Yeah, well, as long as he crosses within that time.
And here we go.
Here he goes. So Dylan Platt now starting his fast lap. Will stay on board with him. Ross Milburn leading the board at this moment in time in that P1 position with 1:35.5. Phil Harris has not gone out on track, so he'll be starting at least in P7. We've already got a yellow flag. Sector 1, 2 there. That could be drivers just slowing down to let the drivers on the fast lap
exactly.
past.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, Jake Sorrell just pulling over there. He's abandoned his lap.
Nice driving.
Now coming up to Stanford. Turn 8, getting ready into turn 9. Padang.
Oh, goes wide a bit.
Good exit though. You've got it under control. That was a good exit. He's laying up the speed. Into Singapore Sling, turn 10 now. Round 11, 12. Over the Anderson Bridge. Coming down to turn 13. This is a critical turn, this 13, isn't it, to get it right and the exit.
Well, you can lose a lot here, but you can gain a lot if you brake right.
Yeah. Down to 14 now. Let's see how tight he goes in on that left-hand side. Yeah, nice and tight. Use the full width of the track there.
Shit's a bit early.
15, 16, 17. Round 18 now. Coming down to turn 19 Bay underneath the grandstands. That's a lovely turn there for those people on those grandstands, certainly. Round 21.
Ooh,
this is looking good. This could be a 134. Yeah, 135.0. But Tom Stevens beat him with a 134.875. What a fantastic run there from Tom Stevens. Excellent run there. 135.068 Dylan Platt and a 135.1 from Callum White.
So you can see within 2 laps, Sean Street was number 1, and then this happens.
Well, it all came down to that last lap.
Yeah.
But Tom Stevens gets that pole position. That's critical for him. But he stays ahead. So there we have the results. Tom Stevens from Mercedes takes pole with a 134.8. Alongside him in P2 is Dylan Platt in the Alfa Romeo. Row 2, P3, Callum White in the Mercedes. Alongside him, Ross Milburn in P4. Row 3, P5, Sean Street in the Racing Point. Alongside him will be Ryan Leah in the Alfa Romeo. Row 4, P7 is Tony Foster in the Ferrari. He's with his teammate Jake Sorrell, so Ferrari lockout for row 4. And row 5, P9, Phil Harris in the Williams, and alongside him will be Matt Goodyear in the Haas. Neither of those two drivers actually setting a time for that queue. Okay, so as we get ready now, drivers readying up, checking their setups, and it looks to me...
Oh, rain.
Like we have rain. The heavens have opened in Singapore. My goodness me. Well, it's going to make for... I mean, this is a tough enough race as it is in the dry, let alone with the rain. We saw the issues that the guys had in Q2 with those wet conditions. How is that going to play out during the course of this race, Guido? It's going to be mayhem.
It's going to be great. No, you know, the thing is now they get the selected tires first, so it's going to be intermediates, obviously, because it's not raining that hard. Is it way enough
for intermediates? I mean, do you want to really go off the start? I don't know. It's difficult to tell.
You saw what happened in this kind of rain in Q2.
Yeah.
People lost it, so there's no use in going on slicks.
Yeah, but intermediate's going to make any difference? That's the question. I don't know if they will.
Yeah, they will. They definitely will. But nonetheless, there's going to be a lot of damage and a lot of flying and a lot of sliding, I bet, because this is not a track where you can go just a little bit wide, or you have to brake early now.
Yeah, I don't know.
And shift early.
Who are you going to go for the win? Come on, I need you to name your winner now.
I don't know who the rain drivers are.
I'm going to go with Dylan Platt. Just name one.
I'm going to go with... oh, God. Jackson.
Oh, okay.
What fun of it.
That's interesting. Okay. That's going to be interesting. The Carl Jackson in the
keep his cool. Everybody's going to crash, and he's going to finish the race all by himself. Well, there you go.
Well, we've got 61 laps, so I hope they last a bit longer than the first few. Let's put it like that. Although we have seen it before. Azerbaijan jumps to mind. I think that was season 3 or 4? 4. Yeah, season 4 Azerbaijan. Although that said, the F1 Tonight UK season race for Azerbaijan, I think we only had 9 or 8 finish that race. So
we have to work on that a bit. But rain doesn't make it any better. Oh, something's going on here. Oh, okay, it's 20 seconds left, and then it's going to start because I have to watch out. I have to retire the car because I'm probably going to be in a car.
I don't know. Can't see you on there.
Or shall I race?
I think you've been kicked.
What do you want me to do? You want me to race? Oh,
You're not
just
in there,
race
mate.
These guys.
You're not in there. You're not even on the list.
Nice. That's how I want it to be. Not on the list.
So let's go on board with the guys and name them as they're coming round. So Tom Stevens will be starting in that P1 position. Alongside him is going to be Dylan Platt in the Alfa Romeo. Then we have Callum White in P3 in the Mercedes. Alongside him is going to be Ross Milburn in the Toro Rosso. Then P5, Sean Street in the Racing Point. Alongside him is going to be Ryan Lear in the Alfa Romeo. Then we have a lockout of Ferrari. So Tony Foster is in that P7 position. Jake Soul, his teammate, is in P8. Then we have Phil Harris in P9. Matt Goodyear for Haas is in P10. Then we have Cameron Widdowson for McLaren in P11. Then we have Lee Pratt for his second race in the Red Bull is in P12. His teammate Adrian Rich is in P13. Then we have Jamie Good in the Racing Point in P14. Then we have Kyle Jackson in the Renault, and he's in P15. Guido is showing there. 16. You're going to have to pause and retire. And Josh Diggles, you are actually on track. And Josh Diggles in the Haas is looks like he's on the racing line in the pits. Not too sure what's happening there. Okay, so let's get ready for this start.
And just I hope I can take control, but I can't take control now. So there's somebody spin there.
Just gonna have to retire on the line, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Drivers coming round underneath the grandstand now, approaching that start-finish line. Remember, they are under wet conditions. So a quick look here at tyres. They are indeed all on the intermediate tyres. So no great surprise there. So cars will now be taken controlled by the AI as they come onto the start-finish line. As they line up. So I think that's Jake Sorrell actually that's there on the grid. So drivers are lining up now. This is F1 Tonight UK Season 1, Race 15, here at the Marina Bay circuit in Singapore. The lights are on and they are off for the start of this race as Dylan Platt pulls away, but Tom Stevens still leading the way. Dylan Platt closing behind him, but look at that Ross Milburn there. He's in 4, he's fighting with Cameron Widdowson at this moment in time. Sorry, Callum White, I do apologise, manages to come off ahead of him. So does Sean Street. Sean Street jumps on 4. Ryan Lear gets ahead of Callum White, but then Callum White comes back to him. He's up into 5, but Sean Street up to 4. Ross Milburn up to 3. 2 is Dylan Platt. 1 is our race leader, Tom Stevens. And we work through now. Jake Sorrell is up to 7. Oh, he's down 1, sorry, to 7. Phil Harris up 1 to 8. Up 1 is Matt Goodyear to 9. Guido, why are you in your car racing?
Because I can't take control of the car, so I cannot retire the car.
So it's under AI control then, I take it?
Yeah, so I'm going to jump out, quit to the menu, and then see what happens if I can get back and then maybe take control as well.
No worries, as long as you stay on the Skype, that's not going to be an issue. In that case, in case some expletives come along. So just advise me when you're back in. So Cameron Widdowson is in 11, Jamie Good is 12, Lee Pratt is 13, Adrian Rich is 14, Tony Foster's dropped down 8 to 15, and Josh Diggles is still in the pits. It doesn't look like he's going to be coming out at any time soon. So Tom Stevens is now pulled up nearly a 2-second lead ahead of Dylan Platt in that Alfa Romeo, but Ross Milburn is 1.3 off the back of him, but Sean Street is even closer. But these wet conditions are definitely not helping, and I've got to say, even though these guys are on intermediates, I have a sneaking suspicion we could well see them going on to wets, because the conditions here are very, very slippy. Karen White is riding on the coattails here of Sean Street at this moment in time as they come round the final few turns. He's got to be careful, because any mistake here, he could end up in the back, but equally, he wants to try and get past them if he can. Tom Stevens, second divisional fastest with 1:59.1. Yep, Cannon backs off a little bit there off Sean Street. Sean Street in that 4th position. Let's have a look down here. Jake Sorrell closing in on the back of Ryan Lear. Phil Harris closing in on the back of Jake Sorrell. So as expected in these opening laps, very, very close. But even more so with these conditions, because the guys are really having to take care at the same time as trying to see if they can actually get past the guys ahead of them. So stay here. 5-second penalty for Tony Foster. He's in the pits. Clearly he had an issue on the start. Guido has indeed retired from the session, so that's resolved that issue. We're on board at this moment in time. Ryan Lear is 2 seconds. Callum Whitenode now 5/10 off the back of Ryan Lear. Sean Street 5/10 off the back of Ross Milburn. Ross Milburn has opened that gap a little bit to Dylan. It's now 1.5. Dylan is nearly 4 seconds behind Tom Stevens, and Tom Stevens is just, well, he's just running ahead at this moment in time. Guido, he's already 4 seconds ahead of second place Dylan Platt.
Oh, sorry, mate. I was still trying to get out of the car and get back from the hospital as I pulled my car into the barrier there.
Yeah, we can see that. But I'm just saying, Tom Stevens, he's leading the race, but he's already 4 seconds ahead of Dylan Platt, and he's really opening up that gap. I mean, Dylan is staying ahead of Ross Milburn. He's currently in P3, only 1.5 seconds behind him, but Tom is just absolutely romping away at this moment in time.
Nice. It's I see only the big change has been that Callum White has lost 2 places.
Well, Callum White has actually lost 2 places. Yeah, he's dropped down to 5 from 3. Everyone else is pretty much up 1. Up 4 is Jamie Good. Obviously, unfortunately, Tony Foster had some damage in there, came into the pit, so he's at the back at this moment in time. Josh Diggles hasn't even come out on track, so I don't believe he's actually racing. So we are racing with 14 drivers at this moment in time, and Ross Milburn still staying 1.5 off the back of Dylan Platt, but Dylan now 5.2 seconds behind Tom Stevens. But as I said, Tom Stevens is just romping away here on this Singapore track, isn't he?
Yeah. And it looks like it's going to be raining a little bit harder. So I'm wondering if we're going to have to go with the blues.
I've got a sneaky suspicion we could well see that we went to
maybe even a safety car. Callum White is really
Callum White really
pushing Sean Street.
On Sean Street there, nearly made the move on him as they were coming round Stanford. Tried again, see if you could get a little peek round Padang lift through Singapore's Sling. Now just coming over the Anderson Bridge towards turn 13. If he can get a good entry into 13 and exit, he could well make the move here. Obviously no DRS as they are under wet conditions, but yeah, I mean, good close driving between these guys under these conditions, I've got to say. Oh, and Callum tries to make the move. Sean Street went a little bit deep, took the usual racing line. Callum trying to cut that line, see if he could actually get round Sean Street, but couldn't quite make it. But he's definitely going to be challenging on him, I think, out of 22 into 23, the way it's looking at this moment in time.
Yeah, it's a little bit dangerous spot there because you have the drive piece of the tunnel
on the bridge. Yeah,
he's going.
Yeah, he's
really
definitely going to. He's
probably going to make a move.
He's looking to make a move, but I don't know if he's close enough. Remember, no DRS.
No DRS.
So he's got to make a decision now. What's he going to do into turn one? He's going to try and take the inside line. No, he's feigning that. Wants Sean to go. Oh, was there contact?
That's a hit.
Yeah, no damage though to the Mercedes. Sean Street going wide out of 3 now. Callum's going to try and come back. Get on the inside into 5.
Oh, there we go. This is it.
Nice move there
wide.
by Callum White. Makes the move. Sean Street does a bit of a power slide, and Callum White makes the move. Good move there from Callum White, got to say.
Yeah, Sean Street didn't have any grip there.
No, he didn't.
It's looking at now. It's dry. So all of a sudden it's getting dry.
There is no rain. It has dried up now. Now this is going to be interesting because that track is not that, well, it doesn't look that wet to me. Obviously there is still a certain amount of spray coming on, but I'd say these guys are going to have to come off these intermediates rather quickly now.
I don't know. As you saw in Q3, it was
yeah, that's true.
Q3 was still slippery.
That is a very, very good point. I mean, I can't see any spray. There's minimal spray coming off those tyres. That's why I'm saying that. And I'm just wondering, obviously with the heat that would be effectively here in Singapore, one would expect it to dry very quickly. But, I don't know. Difficult to say.
I don't know if the weather is really that simulated in this game, but if humidity comes into play and it's high humidity, it will not dry up fast.
Again. Keep coming out with all these good points, Guido. What's going on? You're thwarting me at every turn.
I have no idea, mate. It just comes to me. It's just
natural, isn't it? It's just the way it works. But Callum White is right on. Oh, okay. Both of them, they are coming in. They are going on to the softs. Dylan Platt's already come in. So is Tom Stevens. They're all going on to the softs. All the mediums.
Sean Street, 5-second penalty. He's being in the pit lane. Yes, here we go.
Okay, so Tom Stevens on the mediums, Dylan Platt on the mediums.
I have to say these
Sean Street mediums, Callum White mediums. Ryan Lee has already come in, he's gone on to the soft compound tyres. Everyone else is going on to the mediums. Jake Sorrell on the mediums. And everybody has come into pit by the looks of it. So this is going to, it should keep it more or less as it was. In fact, though, Tom Stevens actually got the jump there. He's actually 10 seconds now ahead. He was 7 seconds, so he's gained 3 seconds on that. So I don't know if there's any penalty or a nose change going on there with Dylan Platt.
It's still slippery because there is no DRS has been opened.
No, it hasn't. It is still a bit slippery, but it will dry very quickly. I suspect DRS will probably be activated for lap 6.
That would be a good guess.
So Callum White still riding on the coattails now of Ross Milburn. Maintain that gap, still 5/10 behind. Phil Harris is in P5. Sean Street's down to 6. Jake Sorrell 7, Matt Goodyear 8, 9 Jamie Good, 10 Ryan Lear, 11 is Adrian Rich, Cameron Woodson and McLaren is 12, and Tony Foster into the pits coming off those intermediates. He's breathing the field in 13. So let's get back on with Callum because he is the man at this moment in time that is closest. He's closing down round 14 now.
I don't know if you can see that, but I think he hit the very on the front left. It was on the...
No damage to his front wing, so his front wing is absolutely fine. As they come down round Bay now. Now, Ross Milburn, a very competent driver, certainly in close racing. He's going to know that he's got Callum White on his tail. He's going to have to watch it now because, look, Callum White is going to try and see again what he can do, get a peek there. 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits as he came round 22 there for Callum White.
Oh, they're both made a mistake again there.
Yeah.
Track
Look
limits.
at this, so close here. Really close action.
Yeah.
Callum White just looking for any opportunity he can get. Goes in deep there. Lost a bit of time on Ross Milburn as it come round 6. Now this is where you can get it. If you get the braking right, go in tight left. Yeah, he's definitely closed it down. 3/10 off the back of him now as they come round the right-hander of Stanford. Get ready for that turn 9 Padang. Very tricky turn that. Nicely executed by both drivers. Coming round Singapore Sling, Tony Foster ahead of them in the Ferrari. He's leading the back of the pack, trying to move aside. Oh, dearie me, and Callum White now, he can smell the blood. Ross Milburn having to watch it as he comes round. Tony Foster going in, let those guys through. Look at this, he's right on his exhaust at this moment in time as they're coming down the straight towards turn 14. Connell. Oh, look at this. Yeah, and Ross really laying it down. Fast driver Ross, as is Callum White. He's not giving Callum the opportunity to close down enough or to get a look through.
I think Ross Milburn has opened up his fuel and opened up his ERS because obviously the fuel gauge is lit, orange, and the ERS of Callum is almost on 90%, so he's got way more ERS left.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now I heard his DRS is available, because I heard the ping. I didn't see the warning that your DRS was available.
I haven't seen it, to be fair, but then again I've been watching the guys, so I suspect that it is. Oh, blue flag. So who's that for? That's interesting. I don't know who that's for.
Yeah, DRS is available.
So we've got the DRS now coming down towards this turn 7, Memorial Corner. Ross Milburn is just keeping that gap as much as he can. Callum White is trying everything that he can to try and close down in the right times. I mean, obviously, as you're coming down now towards Singapore Sling as they come round 10, 11, then over the Anson Bridge, 12 into 13. That's his opportunity, isn't it? If he can close down that gap sufficiently to Ross Milburn. But at this moment in time, it doesn't look like he's close enough. No, he's not. And Ross Milburn, if anything, he's actually starting to pull away from his 8/10, 9/10 ahead of him now. So he's found his speed and he's opening up the valves there, isn't he, Ross Milburn?
Yeah. Well, while you're looking at that, I'm looking at a fight going on with Matt Goodyear and
Jake Sorrell. Yeah, Matt Goodyear, 8/10 off the back of Jake Sorrell. And coming round sector 3, round turn 18.
Looks like our fastest lap, 1:42.0.
Matt Goodyear, Ross Milburn second provisional fastest lap, 1:41.9. So he has definitely opened up the valves there. You can see he's already 1.2 seconds ahead Callum White. So I think Callum may have lost out on his opportunity there. Matt Goodyear, look at this, he's really starting to close down. Cameron Woodson picks up a 3-second time penalty.
I think he's going to attack now on long straight.
I think it's going to look like turn 5. Needs to get on the inside of this turn.
Yeah, he's close enough.
Yeah.
Open it up, open it up. Yeah, now he's going to go for it.
He's going to go for it to turn 7.
Oh.
Jake Sorrell going defensive. He's only allowed to move once, and he did. Oh, look, good defence there from Jake Sorrell. Closed the door on Matt Goodyear as they were coming down towards turn 7.
Damage anything.
Tony Foster now being lapped by these guys. Into turn 10 now. Round 11. 12 over Anderson Bridge. Now he might have an opportunity here out of 13, Matt Goodyear. Oh, and Jake Sorrell's gone too deep there. They're side by side as they come out of 13, leading down to 14. Can he make the move? Jake Sorrell just staying ahead of him. Oh, that was close there because Jake just went in a little bit too deep into 13, didn't he, Guido?
Yeah, and that's, obviously what you want to do, try and take the different line or whatever. And obviously when he when he brakes a bit late or misses his apex, he goes wide by its own. So you don't have to pick a different line.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the end, he's still driving in front of him, and he didn't hit the. Oh, he's going wide again. He's going wide again. Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, this side by side now as they're coming down to turn 1. Yeah. Gets the move done, so Matt Goodyear gets ahead of Jake Sorrell. Good move there. I'm also looking here though at Phil Harris, just made the move on Callum White. So Phil Harris just got past Callum White as they were coming into 7. So that was at the end of the DRS there, and I don't think Callum's going to be too pleased with that.
Well, Jake Sorrell is just regaining his position.
Yeah,
he's
Jake
going on the outside. Oh, and they make contact. They make contact.
Oh, there is contact there. The Haas has. Ooh, he's just gone out, but there was definitely wheel-to-wheel contact there, wasn't there, Guido? Yeah,
I couldn't see because I was in Jake Sorrell's car. I knew there
was definitely wheel-to-wheel contact. In the meantime, just cutting back to Callum White as they're coming out of 13. He's had Phil Harris make the move on him into turn 7, just got ahead of him, and now he is really fighting to try and get back ahead of Phil Harris. Phil Harris, as we know, great driver, and he's showing his worth here at this Singapore track today. Let me just remind ourselves of where he actually was. Started in P9, so he's up 5 places. So good move there from Phil Harris. Certainly as he's charging through. They're all on the mediums, and that's the interesting thing. Interestingly enough though, which I hadn't picked up on, Jamie Good is actually on the hard compound tyres, as is Tom Stevens, who's just come into the pit. So Tom Stevens just into the pits, and he's come off those mediums after only 5 laps and gone on to the hard compound tyre. 51 laps remaining. I can't see him going 51 laps on that, but okay, this is going to be interesting to see how this one pans out.
I have no idea. Do they know something we don't know?
Well, it could well be. Tom Stevens comes out of the pits into P6. P5 is Sean Street. He's 6.5 seconds off the back of Callum White. Callum White 3/10 off the back of Phil Harris, who made a movement on the preceding lap in turn 7. Phil Harris up to 3 from 8. Ross Milburn is still in that P2 position, and Dylan Platt has obviously assumed that P1 position following Tom Stevens coming in from the lead and going into the pits and going onto those hard compound tyres. I'm wondering, does he think he can go to the end on those hard compound tyres?
This is a grueling track, and it takes a toll on your tyres.
Yeah, but I mean, Tom was absolutely romping ahead. He's clearly, knows this track, likes this track. I'm wondering if he's thinking, okay, I've got the speed. If I just take it easy, flow through, I can go to the end of the race. I think he is looking to go to the end of the race on those hard compound tyres.
If you don't push it, and if you just take in consideration how many degradation your tyres have, and don't challenge people and just wait your turn, it could be doable.
I think it is. I mean, he certainly knows the track. He set good pace there. If he just sets a consistent times, if he starts setting consistent lap times, that could well work for him.
I'm going to note it down.
It's going to be interesting.
He's going to go all the way.
It's going to be interesting. 51 laps he would need to do. He came in at the end of lap 9, starting on those. So we'll see how that pans out. So, as I say, Dylan Platt leads the way at this moment in time. He is in that P1 position after Tom Stevens came in. So that's where he is at this moment in time. Ross Milburn is in P2 in the Toro Rosso. P3 is Phil Harris, who's come up from 8, so great run there from Phil Harris. And he is opening up a gap at this moment in time to P4, Callum White in the Mercedes. We saw a great fight with Callum White and Ross Milburn a few laps ago. Oh, that was close.
7th, 8th position, there's still a fight going on. Jake Sorrell and Matt Goodyear. Jake Sorrell just hit the barrier on the left side. Don't think there is damage because I didn't see anything flying off, but then again they're really pushing each other, and Matt Goodyear is closing in.
Yeah, he is closing in at this moment in time. P5 is Sean Street. Tom Stevens, as we know, after coming in from the pit, he's in P6. Jake Sorrell is in P7, and And as Guido was saying there, Matt Goodyear in the Haas is on his tail at this moment in time. And we've really seen Matt Goodyear go wheel to wheel. But now he's closing down on Jake Sorrell. But Jake's just about doing enough to stay ahead of him at this moment in time, isn't he?
Matt Goodyear's even with the barrier himself. You couldn't probably see that, but I could hear it well because I'm in his cockpit view.
Yeah.
So he's really pushing. He's got his ERS in 36%. He's making a move on the outside. He's not going to make that. Taking a different line. Probably Jake Sorrell got a warning for that because he exceeded track limits. Now they're close again, and he's got a new...
This is where he's going to get the advantage, get the slingshot out of 5. He's clearly going to make the move. Jake Sorrell is going to go defensive again. We saw him go defensive previously, but now Matt Goodyear is not giving him that option as they're coming down now to turn 7. Look at that. Oh, wheel to wheel there, but the advantage at the moment is Matt Goodyear, but Jake Sorrell coming back. Oh, look at this. Look at this. He is really coming back hard now. Come round Padang. They're onto Padang, onto the straight. They're coming up to Singapore Sling. They are practically side by side as they come round turn 10. Oh, look at this. Side by side, right 11, 12. Round the Anderson Bridge. Over the Anderson Bridge. And Matt Goodyear just stays ahead now. But look at Jake Sorrell as they come round 13. He went deep last time. That gave Matt Goodyear the opportunity to catch up. Can't quite do it. Matt Goodyear does make it stick. Matt Goodyear moves up into P7. So Jake Sorrell is now down into P8. I'm sure he's going to try and fight back as best he can. P9 is Jamie Good in the racing point. Adrian Rich is in the points. He's now in P10 position in that Red Bull. Then we have Cameron Widdowson in the McLaren. He is still in that P11. Ryan Lear in the Alfa Romeo. He's in P12. And Tony Foster in the Ferrari, bringing up the rear at the moment in P13. He has gone on to the hard compound tyres as well, as have a number of other drivers. So Tom Stevens, as we know, Jamie Good, as we know, but also Ryan Lee and Tony Foster have gone on to those hard compound tyres. So they're looking to go 40-odd laps on those. It's going to be interesting to see how this pans out with these hard compound tyres, though, isn't it, Guido?
Yes, it's going to be. I'm still looking at the fight that was going on with Jake Sorrell.
Yeah, he's 6/10 off the back of him. I don't think he's going to be able to close down too much, but the interesting thing here is that Callum White is now 6/10 off the back of Phil Harris, and Phil Harris is 6/10 off the back of Ross Milburn. So we've got a fight going on for P3 and P4 at this moment in time. Phil Harris picking up a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, I saw a lot of penalties flying again, and in a few minutes I'll look to the race director, what everybody has, but they obviously can win or lose a race with these amounts of penalties.
Yeah, well, we've really seen. I mean, at this moment in time, I don't think it's too bad. I think it's fairly equal across the field. Hardly surprising, obviously, with the conditions that we've had. But yeah, as you quite rightly point out, if you accumulate too many of those points, it does very much come into play. So you've really got to be careful with that. Callum's dropped off a bit now off the back of Phil Harris. He's just over 1.2, but Phil Harris still zoning in on the back of Ross Milburn as they come round 5. He will have DRS. Should be able to close down a bit, certainly to that Toro Rosso ahead of him to come to 7, but it's going to be you approaching to 7. Is he going to make it? Is he going to make it? Oh, yes, he does. Beautifully done there, got to say. And Phil Harris takes that P2 position from Ross Milburn, moves up into P2, and Phil really charging through. Dylan Platt picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. Okay, this is interesting now. So Phil Harris up 6 places, started in P8, up to P2. He's on those medium compound tyres. This is everyone else around him. They're on 9 laps. How deep do you think they're going to go on these medium tyres? Because they're all fighting pretty hard here. I would suspect they're going to go into the mid-20s on those.
Finally, lost it.
Yeah, he's back on track though now, so that's okay.
He's going to have damage there. So it's probably going to come in. And that's a shame because then he can't use his white tires, his hard compound tires that he had in mind. Because he's going in and he has to change his tires because you can't not leave them on.
How does that work? Why does he have to change his tyres? He's only got 2 lap old hards.
I know, but it automatically does it, and I don't know if there's an option that you can keep it on. I don't think so.
Oh, that's interesting. That's a bit
whatever
of a pain.
you do when you
he's on the
pit,
mediums
you change
now.
tires.
Yeah, he's had to go onto the mediums. So that is going to mix things up for him. We are on lap 15 of 61. We are a quarter of the way through this race. We started off under wet conditions. We saw Tom Stevens romp ahead up to 8 seconds. Then they came in off those intermediate tyres very early doors, around about lap 5, I think it was, onto the soft compound tyres. Well, interesting enough, Tom Stevens went onto the mediums, but only did 5 laps on those, and then decided to come out and go onto the hard compound tyres. I suspect he's looking to go onto the end. Dylan Platt, Phil Harris, Ross Milburn, Callum White, Sean Street, all remaining on those medium compound tyres that they came in after that wet start. So expecting them to probably go into the mid-20s. Then it's going to be a question of what they're going to do then, because could potentially go to the end on a set of mediums. Remember, with the set of intermediates, they've had their 2 tyre changes, so they could stay on the set of mediums. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. So I suspect the guys that are on the mediums will come back out when they pit onto the mediums. The guys on the hard compound tyres, well, even if he doesn't go to the end of the race, he should be able to get a jump ahead of these guys, Tom Stevens, and he could be looking to finish maybe on a set of softs. I don't know. I think if he can, he'd go on those hards, but he could well. But he's in. He's into the pits. So Tom Stevens, after 5 laps on the hards, is into the pits. I'm struggling to find out what exactly is going on here. He's going on to
hard again?
Hard again. Oh, it's a nose change.
Mediums.
Yeah, he lost the front end plate off the front right. Yeah. So he's coming for a nose change. He has actually gone onto a set of mediums.
Mediums.
Yeah. I thought there were hards that were lining up there. So Tom Stevens comes in, going on a set of mediums. But this, I think, is pretty much marked up his race for him. But it's going to be very difficult to know, because it always going to depend as to when these guys currently running in the top 6 come in off those mediums, isn't it? That's going to really set what the tyre choice is going to be and what they're going to go towards the end of the race on.
Yeah. All the guys driving the medium tyres have 11 lap old tyres. Obviously not Tom Stevens, because he just got new ones.
Yeah, but he's still going to be a pit behind, isn't he?
Sorry?
He's still going to be a pit behind.
Yeah, definitely. He is.
So that could cost him. But then again, he had that front wing damage. He lost the end plate off the front right. So I guess it's something you've got to weigh up, and that's very important here. Certainly front end grip around this Singapore track, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a slippery and nervous track. I think you need a bit of downforce here. And obviously when you damage it, you're going to lose it. Either way, if you put it on the right side, you have problems going left and other way around. And you need a bit of downforce, so it's best to come in and get a new nose.
Yeah, indeed. Right, well, let's have a quick run through the field here as it stands at this moment in time in reverse order. Tony Foster is in P13 in the Ferrari. P12 is Ryan Leah in the Alfa Romeo. P11 is Cameron Widdowson in the McLaren. And then in the points, P10 is Jake Soul in the Ferrari. Adrian Rich in the Red Bull has actually moved up now to P9. And it's looking pretty solid for Adrian. He's in the points. So that's where he wants to stay. Let's see what he can do. Jamie Good in the Racing Points. He is up to P8. And he's closing in on the back of Tom Stevens. Now that's interesting, because Jamie Good is actually on the hard compound tyres. Tom Stevens is on a fresh set of mediums.
Yeah, that is going to be interesting. 12 lap old tires, white wall, so the harder compound. I'm interested to see how far he thinks he can go. I think he's going to go probably lap 40.
Yeah, I think
45.
Right. Well, I don't know. Yeah, lap 40.
I think the most ideal would be lap 50-51 and then going on the softs.
Yeah, I think
try and
right,
get your fastest lap.
Because I can't see. I was thinking that Tom might be able to go to the end 51 laps on those hards if he was really gentle with them, but I can't see that happening. I think the hards are more likely to go into the mid-30s, maybe the high 30s, but he's already starting to lose time now, Jamie Good, as Tom Stevens starts to pull away. So Tom Stevens, as I was saying, he's in that Mercedes. He's already done 3, let's have a look, intermediates, mediums. He's done 2 pit stops. He's on a fresh set of mediums. He's a pit stop behind everyone else. Sorry, 3 pit stops, I apologise, because he went onto the hards and then came onto the mediums. So he's done 3 pit stops already. He's 13 seconds off Matt Goodyear. Matt Goodyear's 31 seconds off Callum White. So he's very much out of the running as it stands at this moment in time, even with the pits. Matt Goodyear comes into the pits, so Tom Stevens now moves up into P6.
Callum White hit the wall there.
Yeah,
he just came in.
He has
for new hard compound tire,
and he's hit the wall. Yeah, he hit the wall on the exit. He's taken out the front end plate.
End plate?
Yeah, front left end plate. So he has taken out that front left. So he is going to have to come in again. But as I said, downforce here, especially on that front, is critical on this street circuit. So he might try and stay out for another couple of laps, but don't know. I suspect that he's probably going to be coming in. So Callum White currently in P5, but he does have damage after coming into the pits and exiting on those hard compound tyres.
Yeah, the problem is...
look at this. He's really twitching there on the exit of 13. He's just not got the heat in those tyres at this moment, has he, Guido?
Exactly. That's the thing I wanted to say. That the problem with the tyres is you're not going to get the heat in fairly quickly. So you have to watch out at least a lap to get some heat into the tyres. But as you can see, he's having trouble controlling that thing. Yeah. And that is probably because of, well, obviously now the wing end plate, but definitely because of the temperature in the tyres.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he has got issues, you say, with that end plate. He's deciding to stay out. He thinks he can deal with it. Because remember, if he does come in, as you rightly said, he's going to have to change those tyres and go into a set of mediums, which would be very bizarre. But Callum White, he's in P5, but we'll have to come back to him. He could be struggling on that. Sean Street, in the meantime, in the Racing Point, is up to P4. Good run from him. And, yeah, I think he should be very happy with that. I just want to remind, actually, where he started. So let's have a quick look.
P5. He went to P5.
Yeah, so
he jumped on
so he's up 1
place.
from 5.
Yeah. I think Phil Harris and Jamie Good has done the best so far because they jumped up 7 places.
Yeah, well, Ross Milburn's up 1 from 4 to 3. As you rightly say, I mean, Phil Harris, and they're closing in again now on the back of Phil Harris. Phil Harris has gone up 7 places, started in P9, sorry, I thought it was P8, but starting in P9, so he's up 7 to 2. So certainly a great run there from Phil, no two ways about it, but he is under pressure from Ross Milburn still, as Ross Milburn is closing in on the back of him.
Yeah, he's accumulating penalty points. There's a lot of people who keep getting penalty points now, again. And when it's all this tight, really, drive a little bit slower, check your way of driving, because it's going to cost you your place.
Yeah, it certainly does, as we've touched on already. But let's see what these guys can actually do. Ross Milburn 6/10 off the back of Phil Harris. As they're coming round Stanford into Padang turn 9 now. Now this is his opportunity, Ross Milburn. If he's going to close down on Phil Harris, he needs to get a good exit out of 10 through 11 and 12 to close down as they go over the Anderson Bridge there. Get that right line into 13. Can't quite make it. He's got DRS on the exit, but I don't think he's going to be able to take advantage there. Phil Harris really romping away, coming down to 14. Doesn't take quite so deep there on the exit. But Phil Harris is maintaining that staying ahead of him, isn't he?
Yeah, Phil Harris has only
but
one.
He's really depleted his ERS, isn't he?
And Ross has got 2 penalties and multiple warnings. So he's basically already 3 seconds behind.
Yeah.
Oh, 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. That's a strange...
And Tony Foster picks up a 3-second time penalty. So he must have gone right off track there, Callum White.
Yeah, that's 5 seconds. That's something I've not seen before.
I've seen that before, but that normally applies when you really go off track, if you see what I mean. So he's probably gone into a runoff area, fortunately. Otherwise he would have been hitting the barriers there. In the meantime, Ross Milburn's got DRS. He's looking to make the move now. Phil Harris staying in on the left-hand side, ready for this lap turn 7. Ross Milburn cutting him in, but Phil Harris, oh no, he can't do it, can't come back. Good move there from Ross Milburn, makes it stick, gets back into that P2 place, reassumes that position.
Yeah, he's could be saving up ERS. No, he's not actually.
Ross Milburn had plenty, but I've got a sneaky suspicion he's probably used a bit of it. But Phil Harris is still trying to... and that's Jake Sorrell. Jake Sorrell, yeah, gone off there into the barrier out of 13. So Jake Sorrell has DNF'd out of 13, gone into the barrier. So that's the Ferrari out of Jake Sorrell, leaving Tony Foster remaining in the Ferrari.
We've got 12 drivers left.
So we're on lap 21 of 61. This is F1 Tonight, UK. We are a third of the way through this Singapore Grand Prix. Oh, Callum White's gone out. Where's he gone out?
He's gone out.
VSC. Was it? Yeah, he's gone out of turn 10, looks like. He's on the side of turn 10. So I don't know how he managed that, but he seemed to spin it. Going into Singapore Sling, ended up facing the wrong way against the barrier.
I was on board, and he hit it on the right side, then he hit it on the left side, and then it was gone. Because there's on the end of the straight there's a little bit of a barrier going on, well, not onto the track, but going inside, and he might have just lost it on that one.
Yeah, he's just clipped it and it spun his car around. So Callum White goes out. So that's one Mercedes down. Only Tom Stevens remaining. VSC is out. Under VSC.
Oh! Tony Foster just hit Ross Milburn under a VSC.
Oh dear.
I don't know what happened there.
Can't see any damage on the Ferrari though.
Yeah, the Ferrari hasn't got any wing left.
Well, I'm on board with Tony Foster, and all he's done is lost an end plate. Yeah, he's only lost an end plate. That's it.
Oh, all right. Well, the way I looked at it, stuff went flying.
Yeah.
But then again, this is a game, a Codemasters game.
So that's very, very true. So Tony Foster does have damage as his front left end plate has gone. But now, this is really mixed it up now. As I was just saying, VSC obviously off now, but it is an absolute pain because with VSC you have to maintain the distance although you've slowed down. So if the gap was half a second, you still have to maintain that half-second gap, albeit slower, and you have to stay within that distance. If you don't, you get awarded penalties, don't you?
Yeah, within a certain amount of time. If you don't stay within that delta, as they call it, it's just difficult to drive.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand the logic of it because obviously with a safety car actually out on track, you have to wait for it to come out, meet the drivers, and then come in again. So that can be a minimum of 2 to 3 laps. But that said, it's very, very difficult for VSC, but I guess there is no other way around it at this moment in time.
No.
So let's have a look at this as it runs. As I say, we are over a third of the way through this race. It's race 15 of season 1. We are at Singapore. Dylan Platt in the Alfa Romeo leads the way at this moment in time. He's in P1. He's 9 seconds ahead of Ross Milburn in the Toro Rosso, who is currently a P2. Then we have P3. Phil Harris was in P2. Well, he was in P3, then he was in P2 after taking Ross Milburn. Ross Milburn came back, took the place back from him. Phil Harris is now in that P3 position. Tom Stevens, the remaining Ferrari, is in P4. He's still 13 seconds off, but he's within those pit windows, so it's looking pretty good. And again, Tom Stevens, I think you have a look through the race director, he's probably been consistently setting the fastest laps, I would suspect. Sean Street in the Racing Points, he is currently in P5. His teammate Jamie Goodyear is behind him in P6. Adrian Rich in the Red Bull has moved up to P7. Good run from him. Matt Goodyear in the Haas, he is currently in P8. Ryan Lear in the Alfa Romeo is in P9, and Cameron Widdowson in the McLaren just in the points in P10 and bringing up P12 as it shows, but it's actually P11 as I just spoke there. It changes, there you go. Tony Foster in P11. He's going to be looking to try and at least hunt down Cameron Widdowson if he can, or at least stay on that track, because DNFs can still apply, and if they do, he will be back in the points, which Tony Foster normally is, to be fair. So, Guido, this 11 drivers remaining. We're approaching the halfway mark on 24 laps. We've seen a number of the drivers come in off those mediums, and they didn't go too deep on those mediums, did they? So obviously the track is taking its toll.
Philip Harris is making a move on Ross Milburn.
He has made it
position
stick
again.
He has made it stick.
But these guys seem to be battling it out all through the race.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
That's something as a driver you would love to do. And as a spectator, I guess you'd love to see, because that's what it's basically all about, you know. And I've talked about this many times. You'd rather be fifth, as Davey says, Davey's driver in the Dutch league. Rather be fifth and fight all the way, and then be first and never see anybody that you have to battle with.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I mean, Davey, obviously season 5 winner. And still fighting it out for season 6, isn't he? I mean, Nicky Visser currently leading the Dutch league, romping away at this moment in time. But that said, he's very close behind him. I'm just going to see if I can actually pull up where they are at this moment in time.
Well, I wonder what it's going to be. Oh, we got another retirement.
Matt Goodyear.
Matt Goodyear.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Don't know, we're going board with Ryan Lear, and it looks to me like that may have been through sector 1. Yeah, yellow flag is indeed in sector 1. I'm wondering if it was turn 3.
Turn 1, 2 or 3?
Yeah, I think it was turn 3. We're on board with Ryan Lear at this moment in time. We might not see his car. No, it's not turn 3. Oh, yeah, it was turn 3 on the exit of turn 3, yeah. So it was on the exit of turn 3. You can just see the debris there on the left-hand side as Ryan Lear went past. So Matt Goodyear in the Haas is out. That means that Tony Foster will now be in the points. You just know he's going to always be in the points, Tony Foster. So he will assume that P10 position. Ryan Lear moves up to P8, and Adrian Rich is still in P7. Jamie Good 6, Sean Street 5, Tom Stevens is 4. Not closing down that gap to Ross Milburn. It's 14 seconds, was 13 seconds a couple of laps ago. But Ross Milburn is really losing time here. He's 2.6 seconds now behind Phil Harris, who made the move on him. And I think it was on the previous lap, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm looking at him. He's saving up his ERS, but I have to say it looks really. I don't know if he's a controller player. Can you elaborate on that? Is he?
Ross Milburn, I'm not too sure, to be perfectly honest, but I suspect that he's probably not really looking to have too much of a fight because he's on those hard compound tyres.
Yeah, but you see him sliding a bit. You see him not. It's not going smoothly, the steering. Sometimes It just feels like, if you look into the tires, it feels like he's sliding just a little bit.
Not just on board with him now, but again, that could be the heat in the tyres. Although that said, they are on 4 laps, so he should have got the heat into those. Difficult to say. I mean, Ross Milburn, I mean, he's on 4-lap old hard compound tyres. What we've got 35 laps remaining. He could potentially go to the end. As I said, I was looking at Tom Stevens on 51. I thought that was a bit of a stretch, but Ross Milburn, 39 laps on a hard compound tyre. I think it's doable.
Yeah, it is.
But that said, I mean, those guys on the medium tyres came off quite early off those mediums.
Yeah,
so...
but there was a bit of damage there.
Yeah,
there were front wings flying everywhere, so I don't think that had anything to do with the tyres themselves.
Yeah.
Because I think some of them even gambled to go 50 laps with those tyres, but damaged their wings, obviously.
Yeah. Ross Milburn, nice aerial shot as he was going over the Anderson Bridge now, coming down towards turn 14, Connaught. And he's definitely losing time to Phil Harris. There's no two ways about it. Phil Harris is looking to try and close down to Dylan Platt. Dylan's nearly 11 seconds ahead of him, and they are on equal medium compound tyres. Tom Stevens, though, he's now on the older medium tyres, so he's on 10-lap old mediums. That said, Adrian Rich is still running on those mediums after coming in lap 6 in this case. So 21 laps on those mediums, so I think that's probably a better representation of what these mediums can do. I suspect that he would be able to go certainly to the mid-20s. He might be able to push it a little bit more, but as I said before, he can come in and go on to another set of mediums. I've got to say, Adrian's pretty much stayed out. He stayed out of trouble, but he's actually looking pretty solid there, and I think he could get into that top 5.
Yeah, he could. I think he will stay on the medium tyres. He will go in and get another set, because looking at this, he feels comfortable with them. Yeah. And why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Because if you, in the end, change to the soft comp, no, you can't go that distance.
Well,
it will just be a
the
waste.
softs. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out how deep he needs to go on the mediums, but then again, it depends how long he can keep on those mediums. As I said before, I think they should be able to go to around about the mid to high 20s. And if he is going to go on to another set of mediums, he's going to want to push these tyres for probably another 7 or 8 laps if he can. Because if he does, he's then going to leave himself a better window on that second set, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's gonna push it a little bit further. It looks like he's in control. I'll just check out what if his consistency. If it's rightly like that.
He's so good.
He is driving 140 for the last 6 laps. He's driving 145s, 145 low. So he's pretty comfortable with him. And obviously the laps before that were a bit faster, but then you get new tires, you can push it a bit more. And now he's just pacing himself. He's got the time. He's not making weird mistakes. Having said that,
bit of a power slide out of 12 over the Anderson Bridge there. Managed to keep it under control as he's coming down towards Connaught.
It could be a possibility that he's getting insecure now because he made a move like that and decides to come in. And then he has to come in again for the red tie. Oh, he's going wide. He's going to come in.
Yeah, he's lost his concentration a bit there. He needs to get it back. Hopefully he won't come in, because I'd like to see him go a little bit deeper on those mediums. I think he probably can do.
I don't think. I've got a feeling that he's, because he already lost it in the quali, and I'm wrong again.
He's staying out. Yeah, he's composing himself. He's staying out. I think he's working to a plan, definitely here, Adrian.
I think he's listening online and he's saying...
He probably is. He loves a plan, does our Adrian. You don't call him stats for no good reason at all. So he's definitely working to a plan. And hopefully, I think what his plan is probably to go to lap 29.30. If you can go a little bit beyond that, all the better. And then go on to a set of medium tyres. And when I say lap 29.30, I'm not on about the actual lap. I'm on about the the laps he's got on those tyres. He's on 23 laps now, so I suspect he's going to go at least another 6 or 7 laps if he possibly can. That would put him into 35, 36, and then that would only leave him with 25, 26 laps to do on the second stint, or third stint in this case, on the mediums, because they started on the intermediates, remember, because it was wet conditions. Ooh. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out for him. Jamie Good and Sean Street still holding 5-6. Tom Stevens still in 4. 20 seconds off the back of Ross Milburn. Ross Milburn 6, just under 7 seconds off the back of Phil Harris. Phil Harris is closing that gap between himself and Dylan Platt, but not by a great deal. Around about a second, 9/10 to a second he has done in the past 3 laps there. So not quite enough. He is certainly pushing it, and he's looking strong for that podium at this moment in time. I'm just now going to figure out what they can actually do on these. So let's have a look.
Oh, I was somewhat true because he's coming. Adrian has come in.
I think they are looking. Do you know? I think Phil Harris and Dylan Platt might be looking to go to the end of the race on this.
29. I think that's long. No, I think that's a bit too far.
They're not. I'm just looking at it. No, they will go on to softs.
Yeah, they will go on to softs and trying to get
they will go on to softs.
The fastest lap from each other.
Yeah. And again, Ross Milburn, though, now this could be advantage Ross Milburn, because I'm looking at this, he's on the hard compound tyre. Ross Milburn could come in a bit early off that hard and go on to a medium. Unless he didn't have mediums available when he came in, which is why he's gone on to the hards. It's a bit of a difficult one to call. I'm trying to figure out what he's looking to actually do on that. He's going to have to come back some way, because clearly Phil Harris and Dylan Platt, as you rightly say, looking at it, they will be coming in and going on to a set of soft tyres. I suspect probably around about lap 52. So that would be my guess. Tom Stevens, he's on the medium compound tyres. He's done 14 laps. Now, this is the one. Tom is a little bit caught out here, isn't he? Because he's going to have to go deeper on these medium compound tyres than he'd probably like to if he's thinking of going on to softs, or he's going to have to come in and go on to another set of mediums.
Well, he can go at least another 10 laps with it.
Yeah, but he goes another 10 laps. That's going to leave him 21 laps on a set of softs.
Who's on his left?
Who's left?
Oh, he got pushed off.
Who?
Tom Stevens got pushed off by Sean Street.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I can just see the end result of that.
I don't know if he was pushed off or because I say it like that, but I just, I obviously saw a little bit from...
That was into turn 7 by the looks of it.
The turn, yeah. So, I hope they recorded that for the stewards.
Just trying to see if Sean Street's got any damage. There is no damage to Sean Street's car.
No,
Tom Stevens, though, has lost his front wing.
Damage. Yeah,
Tom Stevens has completely lost his front wing, so I'm not too sure. I think they must have been side by side, and possibly Sean Street took a dive into 7 and Tom came across him, because for Tom to lose his front wing and no damage to Sean Street...
Oh, Tom's almost lost it against the barrier.
That was close. That was very close, and that was into turn 14. Connell, because obviously he's lost his front wing there. And Jamie Good just behind him. He's going to take it easy. Just let him go ahead, and then you wait. That's it. Do it now. That's the one. So Jamie Good now getting ahead of Tom Stevens. No, I'd suspect, because if Tom Stevens lost his front nose and Sean Street's car is clean, that suggests to me that Tom either cut in on him, or Tom Stevens closed the door on Tom Stevens, and that's why he's lost his front wing.
The way I could describe it is basically that Sean Street was on the what was it?
Turn 7, the left-hander.
Turn 7, yeah, the left-hander. He was on the left side, but I don't know if he went past him, but they were side by side.
Yeah.
And obviously Tom was DNF'd. Tom DNF'd.
Why is he DNF'd? He's coming out of the pits.
I have no idea.
That doesn't make any sense there.
Probably punched it too hard and slid off. I have no idea. I couldn't see it.
Looks like a clean. He had a nose.
VSC.
He had a clean pit stop there, so I'm not quite sure why he's coming up as DNF.
Okay, the thing, he was on the outside, and obviously had to turn in because he couldn't go any further. And then they touched wheel by wheel. But I don't know where Sean Street came from. I couldn't see if he came from a long way.
Very confused at this moment in time with that DNF, because that just does not make any sense. He was in the pits.
I just hope it wasn't a rage DNF.
No, it's a glitch. It's a glitch because he's come out of the pits. He's on the track. I was in the pits with him when he was getting the nose change and the wheel change, and then all of a sudden he came up DNF, but nothing happened. He didn't do anything. He's now, he's got off the track now, but that is very bizarre. I don't know what happened there. It's definitely a technical glitch there, and Tom is going to be very, very frustrated with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Cameron Widdowson now into the pits. So he's coming off those softs. So those softs really, I mean, 9 laps, we haven't seen anybody go into double figures on those softs even from the start.
Well, let's see if he DNFs as well.
I'm on board with him now. That looks good. That was very bizarre situation there with Tom Stevens. Of course, this is just going to play into Dylan Platt's hands beautifully as he leads the way. And his real competition at the moment now is Phil Harris. I mean, Phil Harris has closed down that gap considerably. If you recall, it was down to around about 9 seconds. It's now under 7 seconds. But he's still not closing it enough, is he, Phil Harris? He's just not able to. He's closing the gap, but it's just not enough at this moment in time.
No, 7 seconds is a long way. And then again, we're just halfway there.
Yeah, that's true. We are on lap 33 of 61. This is F1 Tonight UK. Season 1, round 15 here at Singapore. And what a race it has been, Guido. It's all been happening, hasn't it?
It has all been happening. I'm just missing the new rain now.
Yeah, well, that would just seal the deal, really, wouldn't it? I think
we would have
some
2
more
drivers
rain.
left.
So we started off under wet conditions, everybody on the intermediates. It then dried up pretty quickly. We saw people coming in around about lap 5, 6. Most of the runners going on to mediums, some going on to hards, few going on to softs that are in the back of the pack. We saw the guys go out, but they came off pretty quickly on the mediums, and most of the guys that were coming into the pits and changing tyres was actually due to contact that they'd made around the track. And damage that they accrued to their cars, and obviously when they came in they then went for a tyre change. It did mess things up certainly somewhat for Tom Stevens, and we were contemplating what he was going to do there. Then he had a glitch when he came into the pits. We have seen some drivers DNF, obviously Carl Jackson and Lee Pratt, Jake Sorrell we saw in a dramatic way as well, Callum White in a bizarre way indeed. I still can't quite figure that was turn 10. Matt Goodyear's gone out, and Tom Stevens we saw in a very bizarre way because he actually DNF'd while he was having a nose and tyre change in the pits. So really not too sure what's happened there. What does that mean or signify for the race itself? Well, remaining we have 9 drivers. Tony Foster is now in P9 in that Ferrari. Cameron Widdowson in the McLaren is in P8. Ryan Lear in the Alfa Romeo is in P7. But up now to P6 is Adrian Rich. Now, Adrian, he did come in off those medium compound tyres. He's gone on to another set, as we suspected he would do. They're 4 laps old, but he's not going to be able to complete this until the end of the race. So he's clearly going to be coming in at some point, I suspect probably in the last 6 or 7 laps.
7 laps, yeah.
Yeah, 6 or 7 laps, and he's going to be looking to go on to a set of softs. Then we've got Sean Street, the first of the Racing Point drivers. We're not too sure what happened. Certainly there was some contact, although what the situation was unfortunately we didn't catch. But Sean Street is up into P5. He has come in, he's gone on to the hard compound tyres, and he definitely will be able to go to the end of the race on those. 16 seconds at the moment off his teammate Jamie Good. I don't know. Compound tyres. I think he's going to have a job to manage those, and he could potentially come under pressure from Adrian Rich once Adrian goes on to those soft compound tyres. I think we could see a fight here for P5 if it stays the way it is between Adrian Rich and Sean Street. I don't know what you think, Guido.
Nah, I don't know. Because Adrian is still going to have to pit and come in, and he's going to lose some time there. So I don't know if this is going to play out for I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see. I think Adrian has the potential to close down because that hard compound tyre is certainly slower as it should be than the rest. But is it enough to make a difference? I don't know. It's going to be a tough one to call.
Yeah, the difference with an extra pit stop again.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to call. Jamie Good in the second Racing Point. He's up into P4. I mean, Racing Point at this moment in time are looking to pick up some really good points tonight if they stay where they are, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
that would be good for the championship.
It would be great for them.
Which position do they have now?
Well, at this moment in time, they're sitting in 7th place on 82 points. They are 22 points shy of McLaren. So, yeah, Cameron Widdowson is still there in P8. He'll be picking up 4 points for P8. I think he is for 3 points, not too sure. But these guys jointly, yeah, they could be, well, they'll be into double figures. So they could be challenging, potentially, McLaren for that 6th place in the Constructors' Championship. From the points of view where they are, they're currently sitting P11 for Sean Street, P13 for Jamie Good. He's on 34 points, Sean Street on 48. So again, that could move them up. Jake Sorrell's gone out, that leaves Tony Foster. So we could potentially see Sean Street maybe move up to P9 in the Drivers' Championship. And Jamie Good could well move up to P12. He might move up one because Adrian Rich is currently 12 and he's obviously in the points there as well. So yeah, we'll see him move around, certainly around those low teens. So Jamie Good, he's currently in that P4 position. P3 is Ross Milburn in that Toro Rosso. He's driven a solid race. He's had some real challenges with Phil Harris and also Callum White, but he's managed to sort of fight back, hasn't he? He's been overtaken, but he's always fought back, but he hasn't been able to come back to Phil Harris, though, has he, after going onto those hard compound tyres? He's now come in and gone onto the mediums, but those hards definitely weren't working for him, and he was losing a lot of time on those, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, and bear in mind, he has an extra pit stop now, Ross Melbourne has. So that's why he's gone at least those 20 seconds behind the user. I think it's a little bit shorter, this pit stop.
Yeah.
And then you lost 11 seconds, if you take that in consideration, 11, 12 seconds.
Well, he's got 25 laps remaining. He can go to the end, certainly, on these medium compound tyres now. He does have the guys ahead of him that will need to pit, but they will go on to soft compound tyres. The gap is 32 seconds. The pit stop here, it's a bit of a weird old pit. But I suspect the pit stop is probably around about 20 seconds, 20, 22 maybe, 20 seconds let's say.
It's a very short pit as well, an entry as an exit. The exit is a little bit tight. It goes on a left bend onto the right and it's just really narrow.
Yeah, well I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. That's why I'm thinking Adrian Rich might stand a good possibility here, but we'll see how that pans out. But Ross Milburn, he's in that P3 position. Phil Harris, though, in P2, started in P9, up 7 places. And we've seen this from Phil Harris before. He does like to come through the field, but he's done a great job here tonight. But he's still not able to close down that gap to Dylan Platt. I mean, he's 6 seconds off the back of him, and he has been for quite a number of laps now. He's just not able to make that difference at this moment, is he?
Yeah, but then again, Dylan Platt is a driver who knows what he's doing, and he's just not a guy it's simple to get close to or to stick to. So that's
especially when you're coming from so far. I mean, Phil Harris has done a great job coming from where he has, to be fair.
Definitely.
So yeah, I mean, anything can happen still, and as we've seen, obviously with that very odd glitch with Tom Stevens and Callum White going, Matt Goodyear as well. So yeah, anything can happen. And invariably it does, we find. So that's Phil Harris, he's in P2, but Dylan Platt, our race leader at this moment in time. And he was in second place. Tom Stevens was convincingly ahead of him, but then he came in, pitted, and bizarrely went onto the hard compound tyres. And we think he was looking to go a lot deeper into the race, obviously going onto those, but he then suffered damage, had to come in, and that sort of put pay to that. And that released Dylan to maintain that P1 position, as he has done now, I think for about a good 20 or so laps. So looking solid at this moment in time. His only real challenger, as we've been touching on, is Phil Harris, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah. You know, he's closing in a little bit. You know, it's 2/10 he's gained in 1 lap, and he keeps pushing it. Now lost it a bit. I don't know if he's going to come close to Dylan. What do you reckon?
I don't know. It's difficult to tell. All it takes is one mistake, isn't it?
Yeah, and those can be plenty around here, because obviously look at the position 10 to 16. There's been a few mistakes there.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, it's a difficult one to judge, got to be honest with you. Obviously the field has somewhat opened up now. We've got 23 laps remaining as it stands at this moment in time. So,
what are you munching on?
Oh, a bit of chocolate.
Thought I heard something.
Yeah, I should have muted really, but it was just too good.
No, it's just one of those things.
It's just too good to resist.
Yeah, can I just point out that the people that are watching, you know, Woods, you and Adrian, and obviously the other people that are working on this live stream, as it is a live stream that we're posting on YouTube via Mixer, via
and we're on Twitch as well, aren't we?
Twitch as well.
Yeah.
No, for the people that are watching, just spread the word to people everywhere that what we're doing. And if you like it, give us the thumbs up. And if you don't like it, well,
give us a thumbs down.
No, turn it off. Go somewhere else. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we are obviously looking to grow things. We've got some exciting plans going forward for Season 6 and Season 2. And we are looking at the options, certainly from the broadcast team, of actually having 2 cameras that we can actually play around with, so we can hopefully catch up on some of the other action that's happening, rather than having to scroll through the drivers and getting it a few seconds delayed. We're going to be trialling that for Season 7 and for Season 2. And a few other things in the pipeline as well, because we're always looking to improve the stream quality. If any of you got any comments, then please do feel free to leave them. We will read them all, good, bad, or indifferent, I can assure you of that. So we are at this moment with P5 Sean Street. Let's have a quick look through the field. So Tony Foster is in P9 in that Ferrari. P8 is Cameron Widdowson in the McLaren. Ryan Lear just coming out of the pits, going onto a fresh set of mediums. That will take him to the end of the race. He's currently in P7. P6 is Adrian Rich. P5, as I said, Sean Street. Jamie Good 4. Ross Milburn is 3. Phil Harris is 2. Dylan Platt is 1. I've got to say, our predictions for race winners pretty much out the window. I think, Guido, pretty much gone. I don't think we're going to get those.
Mine was lap 3. It was done. Well, this is, you know, in the end, we want to see a good race, and you know, that 5er I'm never going to get from you. So.
What are you on about? I don't know what you're talking about, Guido.
Again, your headphones are playing up probably.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. What was that you said? Yes, can't hear things. No. Right, we've got 21 laps remaining. Anything can happen, and we've seen most things have. We've seen some really fast drivers, lead drivers go out, drivers that were coming through the field go out. This track has definitely taken its victims, and I don't think that rain to start with, or those damp conditions, certainly helped. As expected, though, under any street circuit, penalties can be accrued. drivers can and do a DNF. We've lost Tom Stevens, Matt Goodyear, Callum White, Jake Sorrell, Lee Pratt, and Kyle Jackson. Josh Diggles wasn't in. Don't know what happened there. And obviously Guido, for some unknown reason, decided that he wanted to race rather than commentate, and then changed his mind, didn't you, Guido?
No comment. No, obviously no. I still can't wrap my finger around what happened, because I obviously put it on spectate mode and then it threw me in the car.
Yeah, it flipped.
Flipped?
Flipped.
Well, I said that I'm looking at Phil Harris again. He is gaining some time there, because he's now on 4.5 seconds, and I think it was 3 laps ago we were talking about him, and he was still almost on 5.5 seconds. So he is getting closer to Dylan Platt. Is it going to be enough to overtake him with a pit stop that he probably has to do? No, I don't know.
It's a tough one. I'm just looking here at Adrian's stats for Phil Harris. His predictions was that he'd qualify 5th. Well, he actually qualified 9, and he finished racing 5th. Well, he's actually in P2. So, trapdoor performances last week from 11th on the grid meant his 5th podium on a fast lap to boot. Now in 4th overall, he's currently exceeding his own target by the greatest margin of any driver. So Phil Harris, all the drivers asked to sort of set themselves targets or competitive, or the drivers they were going to be competing against. Phil Harris has pretty much broken those. He's had 1 win, 5 podiums, and 5 DNFs so far this season. So be interesting to see. Oh, sorry, what am I saying? Oh, his rival was Sean Street. That's it. So that's why his rival's there.
Saying?
Let's have a look at Dylan Platt, because I'm going to be interested to see what Adrian said about Dylan here. Let's have a quick scroll through there. Trying to see who's closing down on who at this moment, but the gaps are pretty much done. I mean, we're going to see some of these guys come in and pit fairly soon, I would suspect, Guido.
Dylan Platt has still 1 penalty. Philip Harris, Phil Harris has 2. Well, so it doesn't really matter if he gets close. He needs to get past him for about 3 seconds.
Yeah,
with his penalties.
I'm just having a quick look at Adrian's good old Adrian's stats rich has left us some predictions, and interesting one here. I'm actually looking at Dylan Platt. So he predicted that Dylan would qualify 2nd and finish 1st. That's not a bad prediction, is it?
That's
he qualified 2nd and he's currently in 1st. So I'm pretty impressed with that. So stats rich opinion of Dylan Platt here, and let's have a look at what he actually says. Synopsis: he had a proper fight at the front with Stevens in the first recent memory, and the flight he ultimately lost. That was obviously last week. Will he seek revenge this Tuesday? He'll need to be rapid yet relaxed if he wants the win. Well, I think he's a little bit of a wobble there from Dylan. Coming out at 21, that could have been an interesting one. He's had 14 Grand Prix, 100% attendance, 6 poles, 7 wins, 12 podiums, 2 driver of the days and 2 DNFs. He's only twice qualified outside the top 3, and that was in Australia and Spain. His current championship position is 1st. Season objective is top 3 overall, and his rival is Tom Stevens. So as you can see, it's all looking pretty good. Stats Rich seems to have hit it on the nail on the head, so to speak, with Dylan. But, well, we have got only... sorry. I was just looking at that and I was getting a little bit worried there. 17 laps remaining. Well, it's 18 laps. 17 including if we're on this one. So we're drawing to a close, I think, fairly soon, probably within the next 20 or so minutes. At this moment in time, Dylan Platt leading the way. Phil Harris in second. He has closed down that gap though, Guido, hasn't he? Look, he's down to 4 seconds.
That's what I said. He's closing it down.
He is closing it down slowly but surely. But it all depends as to when Dylan and indeed Phil decide to come in, because if he's that close, I mean, Dylan...
Overcut, what
exactly. That's what I'm looking at. Is one of them going to go for... well, the only one that can go for the undercut is Phil Harris, or indeed the overcut, Dylan Platt. Or the undercut. Well, no, you can't do an undercut if you're in the lead. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be interesting. So who's going to come in first? Because I'm looking at this. I would suspect that they'll want to go at least another 6 laps before they come in and go onto those softs. Those softs.
Yeah, but he's closing in. Yeah, definitely. You cannot take softs without doing it again. You have to come in again when it's going to be too far. Philip Harris is really closing in now, and it's going to be this is going to be really interesting.
Ross Milburn picking up a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah. Was that Ross Milburn?
Yeah.
Let me see. Ross has got...
So, yeah, this is going to be very... I'm just trying to figure out who's going to do what here. I'm pretty sure they're going to come in round about lap 50. The question is who's going to come in first. I suspect that Phil Harris is going to go for an undercut. He's now just over 2.5 seconds off the back of Dylan Platt now.
Yeah, he's pushing it.
He is really pushing it. I don't know what his ERS is like. His ERS is pretty much depleted. Dylan Platt's is full. I mean, I think Dylan's just going to wait until he gets close and then just open up the valves.
Yeah.
Because Phil Harris has closed down that gap, but he's doing it at the cost of his ERS. For those of you unfamiliar, ERS is the electronic recovery system. It's like a second engine, or if you want a bit like a nitrous boost, for want of a better word. It gives you an extra 160 horsepower, and that charges up in the braking zone. So when the car brakes, it actually charges up the battery, but you've got to get it set, or have it set so that you are effectively replenishing that energy. So you can use it at any time during the race, but obviously as you use it, it depletes, and then you've got to build it up again. At this moment in time, Phil Harris has definitely been eating into that to close down that gap to Dylan Platt, and that really, I've got to say, Guido, the fact that he's doing that really suggests to me that he's going to be looking to do an undercut on Dylan.
Yeah, he's got to basically get enough to get as close as possible, or drive as faster a lap you can do on the tires you want to change. And then obviously change the tires and push the out lap again as hard and fast as possible, and then get the lap after that in your normal pace, and hoping that will be enough to do, as I call it, undercut on the driver that still has to pit, but hopefully makes it slower.
Well, and then obviously the driver who you're trying to undercut then has the opportunity to respond as well, while you're in the pits to try and get a fast lap down. And I've got to say, I've got a sneaking suspicion that Dylan is fully aware of what Phil Harris is up to. I am going to predict this. I'm going to say Phil Harris is going to come in lap 49, or end of lap 48. He's going to come in, go onto a set of softs, and Dylan Platt is going to stay out and do the overcut, probably for 2 laps, because he's going to have full ERS, and he's just going to go for 2 blinding laps on those mediums with the ERS turned right up, and then get onto those softs. That's my call. Don't take too long to think about it, Guido.
No, it sounds
plausible.
Okay. I don't think it's going to be lap 48. I think it's going to go to, let's say, 52.
No. I think Phil Harris is going to come in early. I think Phil Harris is going to come in the end of 48.
Dylan's going to stay out way longer, because he is used to looking for the limit on tires. And,
Yeah, I can see what you're saying on that, but I really feel that Phil Harris is the only opportunity he's got is to do that undercut, and he's going to have to be brave. And that's why I'm thinking he's going to come in at the end of lap 48.
Yeah,
I mean, he could go to lap 49, but I really think it's going to be the end of lap 48.
But just as you said, you know, Dylan, they know from each other what is going on, and Dylan Platt knows that Phil Harris has a 6-second time penalty, and he only has 3.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there is that 3-second deficit there as well, as you quite rightly say, with regards to points. But it all depends whether Jeff's made him aware of that, because remember, obviously, in-car or in-race information is done via Jeff, which is the AI team
engineer, I
guess. Yeah, he's the engineer, isn't he? Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see whether he is aware of that much information. I don't know.
Oh yeah, he is. He asked for the driver behind, and then he says he's got so much penalties, he's on that tires, and so on and so on. And if you well, you're in front. Yeah, he knows what he's aiming for. They obviously, that's what we said before. These drivers in the front, they really know what is going on. So I'm guessing their strategy is based on knowledge and not just sheer luck or whatever Jeff calls. Oh yeah, definitely. Jeff wants you to come in while you still have those rubber thingies on your tires, like if they were new. So. Yeah, just another thing. Tony Foster's come in and he's got fresh tires. To do his own thing. Just oh. Ooh. Yeah, it's got a nice car though. Did you check your sound?
Sorry, yeah, I'm talking away here and I had muted. Sorry, I do apologise. Yeah, so Adrian Ritchie's in P6.
Everybody hears me, but not you.
But not, yeah, exactly. Adrian Ritchie's in P6, 33 seconds off the back of Sean Street. I don't know. Don't think he's going to be able to close that gap down. Plus, he's going to have to come in pit and go onto the red wall tyres. Sean Street is in P5. He's on those hard compound tyres. Wasn't too sure how that was going to pan out for him. but it's looking pretty good. He's maintained that P5 position. But more interestingly, his teammate Jamie Good, he's in P4. He's also on those hard compound tyres. Remember, he went on quite early on those.
Philip is on the softer compound tyres. He's in third position.
Sorry. Did you say Phil Harris has come in and gone on to the soft compound tyres at the end of lap 48? Was that?
Yes.
I hate to say I told you so.
Well, that's good, but I was talking about Dylan Platt.
No, but Dylan Platt, you were talking about Dylan Platt. Phil Harris has indeed come in, gone onto those soft compound tyres at the end of lap 48. And as I suspected, Dylan Platt is staying out for another couple of laps. They've now got Ross Milburn in between, because Phil Harris now he's got Ross Milburn. He's looking to make the move on him. Out of 13. Should be able to get him out of 14, I should think.
I think Dylan Platt's going to go for 52. And this is not going to help. He's definitely not.
This is not helping Phil Harris.
This is not helping.
Because it is for position. And Ross Milburn is not going to make it easy for him.
And rightfully so.
And rightfully so. Well, yeah, absolutely. It is for position.
Oh, this is going to...
This is very, very close between these two. Very close indeed. Ross Milburn can go to the end of the race on these mediums, but he's going to have to hold up Phil Harris all the way. Phil getting alongside him as they come into turn 1. Oh, he's gone too deep! He's lost it, went deep. Oh, dearie me, he's trying to come back. He can't overtake him now. He's got advantage, he's got to wait.
Dylan Platt's come in,
So Dylan Platt has come in. He's going on to the soft compound tyres. This is going to be very interesting indeed. Surprised Dylan came in that early, actually.
Yeah, I'm surprised as well, because I thought it's at least 52.
I thought he'd go another couple of laps. He has gone to... Oh, dearie me! Oh, that was close. Phil Harris nearly losing it there. Very, very close. But Phil Harris gets past Ross Milburn, gets into that P1 position. Dylan Platt has come in. He's gone onto the soft compound tyres. He's 1.4 seconds off the back of Ross Milburn, 1.3. He's off the back of Phil Harris. So we are looking at 2.5 seconds. 3 seconds is the difference in time penalties between Dylan Platt and Phil Harris. But Dylan Platt now needs to get past Ross Milburn. So the undercut did work for Phil Harris, even though he had Ross Milburn in the way.
Yeah, it did work. Ross Milburn's going to stay out because he's going to finish the race on the medium compound. Yeah. And he's going to stay in the way. But
again, it's for position.
So Dylan Platt's going to maintain P1 after penalties.
At
if
this
it stays like this.
Yeah, we've got 10 laps remaining now on this F1 tonight. Oh, and Dylan trying to go. He was trying to do that. I'm not too sure there, actually. I mean, I know Ross isn't going to make it easy for him, but I don't think Dylan needs to take chances like that. He's going on the outside. Oh, he's going to get it now on the DRS straight, definitely. Look at this. Yeah, Dylan Platt makes the move, gets past Ross Milburn. Nice, easy move finally then, before he even got down towards turn 7. But I've got to say, he was taking a bit of a risk around turn 1 on that right-hand side.
Yeah, well, tyres are warmed up now, and on the first lap he did something crazy like that as well. He started sliding, but that's obviously the tyre temperature wasn't in there yet.
Yeah,
because you have to bring it in after a couple of corners. But now he's going to go full on, and he's going to get back to that's
well, I mean, the important thing here is the undercut definitely worked for Phil Harris.
Yeah, it worked.
That said, Phil Harris now has got to go full pelt for the next 10 laps, because Dylan Platt is only 3.4 seconds off the back of him, and all he needs to do is get under 3 seconds, and he will take that P1 position due to points incurred by Phil Harris. So, but then again, that's not to say that Dylan Platt couldn't pick up another 3 points.
I don't know. These points are flying everywhere. So still anything can happen until the wedding. That's a little bit of a cliche there. Anything can happen, but anything can happen.
Absolutely.
Track
We've
like
seen
this.
it all too often, Guido, let's be fair.
Yeah, definitely. Tony Foster making room there.
Yeah, let Dylan Platt through.
should.
Obviously, blue flag situation there as Tony's.
And he's taking the DRS out of.
Short
Tony
Street picks up
Foster
another
there.
3-second time penalty.
Yeah,
that could be interesting because look, I said, now listen to this. This is the interesting thing. Sean Street's come in. He was 30 odd seconds, or Adrian Rich was 30 odd seconds off the back of him. Sean Street's now come in, gone on to a set of softs, and Adrian Rich is now only 5 seconds behind him. And Sean Street has picked up another time penalty. I don't know how many time penalties he's got, but
I'm gonna check that.
This could be interesting.
No, I saw him getting 5 seconds. Okay, he's got one 5-second penalty. Another 5-second penalty and a normal penalty.
So he's got 13 seconds. Adrian Rich, how many penalties has he got?
Oh. I'm gonna check that. Just a second. Adrian Rich has a warning and another warning and one penalty. Whereas
So 10 seconds is the gap. So at this moment in time, he's 6 seconds off the back of Sean Street. 10 seconds is the gap. If he stays within 10 seconds, he can take that P5 position from Sean Street in these remaining 8 laps. So it's going to be interesting. He's going to be hard pushed, but it is achievable, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the thing you see in the final stages of the race, is that people are going to push that hard, so they really don't care about the track limits, or just push it just a bit wide, and then you get stuff like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's all part of the race because it makes it interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a quick look now at the runners and riders. Tony Foster is in P9 position. Cameron Widdowson in the McLaren is in P8. There he is there, the boy himself. Cameron Widdowson, good race from him. Ryan Lear is in P7 in that second Alfa Romeo. As we were discussing there, Adrian Rich is in P6. If he stays within 10 seconds of Sean Street, who is currently in P5, he will take that P5 position from Sean Street if he doesn't pick up any other points as well. So this is a bit of a fight going on here, albeit not necessarily wheel to wheel. But the man here, the man that is amazing me at this moment in time, is Jamie Good.
That's the man.
47 laps on those hard compound tyres. He's got 8 laps, well, 7 laps shortly remaining. Is he going to come in and go on to those soft compound tyres? He's got the opportunities, 39 seconds ahead of his teammate. Surely it would make sense to come in and go on to a set of softs, wouldn't it, Guido?
Yeah, it should, but maybe it's a little bit of a prestige thing, and says, you know, I did a one stop. Mind you, he's got a one stop, a hard
it's a 2-stop actually. Sorry, yeah, that's a 2-stop because he started. Oh no, it's a 1-stop. You're right. Sorry, it is a 1-stop. Yeah, because he came off the intermediates onto those hards. That's right.
Are you doubting me?
I always doubt you.
Yeah, I know. But then again, he's got he's taken 10 places.
Yeah.
So if he stays like this is going to be. I think it's going to be my DOTD.
I've got to say, at this moment in time, he is looking pretty hot for that. That said, though, I mean, Phil Harris is still in that P1 position, as we were discussing, and Phil Harris did come from P9, so he's gone up 8 places. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I'll see what Jamie Good does effectively.
He's going to drop a place.
From there.
Phil Harris is going to drop a place.
Ross Milburn is into P3. Started, I believe, when did he start? P3, so he's maintained his position.
This is interesting. Dylan Platt has a 3-second time penalty. As I recall right, this is now...
That's the gap, 3 seconds.
That's the gap, yeah, so he has to fight for it.
So he is now racing, so Dylan Platt has picked up a 3-second time penalty. That means he's on level pegging.
Yellow flag, second through.
Yeah, it's Cameron Widdowson. That's Cameron Widdowson. He moved aside for the guys coming through, which is Ross Milburn, etc.
I'm going to switch back.
So Ross Milburn, he's in that P3 position. Dylan Platt is in P2. He was ahead on time because of that 3-second time penalty, but now he's got to make the move on Phil Harris on track because they are now on level pegging, and that means that Phil Harris is a second ahead of him. So Dylan has definitely closed down, and it looks to me as if he's definitely gunning for that Williams. He knows now that he has got to take that P1 position back from Phil Harris in these remaining 5.5 laps.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. He's right on the gearbox there, and he's going to take it on the next straight.
I don't know.
DRS. Oh!
He needs to stay on the tail, effectively, of Phil Harris as they come round Singapore Sling and then over the Anderson Bridge.
But there is no DRS there.
There is on the exit of 13. Yeah, this is what he's going to be looking for now.
Tony Foster, 5-second time penalty. Cross the pit lane line. Oh no.
Look at this. Dylan is really close and personal at the moment with Phil Harris. They're coming around 17, 18, 19, sorry, 18. Coming up to 19 now. Underneath the grandstand. Oh, look at this. He is so close. He can probably smell Phil Harris's aftershave, I should think. They come round 22 into 23.
There we go.
Now, is Dylan going to try and make that crazy move on the right-hand side?
No.
No, he's keeping it.
This is going to be it. He's
going to look to take him out of 5, and Phil Harris knows that. Opens up the valves out of 3. This is where he's going to look to try and make that move. This is where he needs to close down that gap. I don't think he's got enough.
He's too far away.
Too far at this moment in time. He's going to try and see if he can make... look at this. Side by side, they're coming to turn 7. Wheel to wheel. On the side pods there. Oh, Phil Harris takes... Oh, Phil Harris has gone into the wall there. Oh, no. Phil Harris just goes in too deep, goes into the wall. As they were coming round Stanford. Turn 8. Oh, dearie me. But he does stay ahead. How does he stay ahead?
What the heck's that?
What is going on?
There's something going on. That's not right.
That's a glitch.
Because he's on AI. There's something weird going on here.
Yeah, Dylan Platt takes the bit. I'm just trying to figure out how Phil Harris stayed ahead of him unless Dylan Platt dropped back to let him through.
He couldn't. Or did he give the precision back?
He must have given it back. I think he gave it back.
Okay.
I think Dylan Platt did give the position back, but then he's obviously come on to him. So he has now taken the position. So Dylan Platt has taken that P1 position. Phil Harris, I'm not too sure. Obviously, we haven't got anyone behind him, so I can't see whether he is on AI. He could well be because he's losing a lot of time.
Yeah, it could be, as the rules that we have, an incident has to be recorded. If you want the incident to be shown to the stewards, you have to record the clip yourself, and then obviously the car will go on AI.
Yeah, so that could well have been it. He could have been recording his incident clip there. So stewards might well or will undoubtedly be looking at that clip once it's presented. But Phil Harris is into that P2 position. Dylan Platt is in P1, and we've only got 4 laps remaining. And yeah, Phil's lost out big time there, but he has got damage. Has he got damage? No, he hasn't got any damage to that front wing. So no damage to the front wing there. So not quite understanding what happened. I think it may have glitched as well, but as you say, it could have been that he was recording a clip, and that's what the issue was. Dylan Platt, I'm sure, did give the position back to him, so whether that was recognition of something untoward that he may have done, not too sure. But undoubtedly that will all come out during the steward's review. So Dylan Platt...
There we go. Philip Harris has joined, so he's probably got kicked.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely had some sort of glitter. What a time to have it as well. That's not what you want, really, is it?
No, that's really too bad. Because it was just such a fair fight, and it looked like a fair fight anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was exciting, so it's obviously the disappointment you have. Yes, I saw a glitch again.
Yeah.
But the disappointment you have while fighting and then you get thrown out of the game.
Yeah. It is a pain, to say the least. Okay, quick review before we get to the closing laps. Tony Foster in the Ferrari is P9. P8 is Cameron Widdowson in the McLaren. P7 is Ryan Leah in the Alfa Romeo. P6 is Sean Street in the Racing Point. And P5, Adrian Rich, while we were keeping an eye on that, in the meantime, has actually got past Sean Street and gone up into that P5 position. Great run from him, because Sean Street's come in. He obviously had some sort of contact, came in, because he's gone up to a fresh set of softs. That's why Adrian Rich has made the jump on him and got up into P5. So great result there for Adrian Rich. P5 for the Red Bull, much needed points for Team Red Bull. They're sitting at this moment in time in 8th place in the Constructors, and Adrian Rich is sitting in 12th. That should jump him up, I suspect, to P9 as Jake Sorrell went out. Jake Sorrell was in line for that with the points he had, but I suspect that Adrian's now going to get into that top 10, so it's going to be interesting to see what the final results and points are. Jamie Good, in the meantime, in the Racing Point, 53 laps he has completed on those mediums. There's only 3 laps remaining. I can't see him coming in now, Guido. He's going all the way, isn't he?
Definitely not. Ross Milburn has got the fastest lap for now.
Yeah.
So that's an extra point.
But what a great run from Jamie Good, got to say.
That's
fantastic run from him. I mean, he made it work for him. I mean, those hard compound tyres, not the best tyres, but he has really made them work for him. And look at the result he's got from there. He's only just one shy of getting on a podium, P4. He's going to be pleased with that, isn't he?
He is going to be pleased. I would be pleased.
Yeah, definitely, I would. That's for sure. So, Ross Milburn in that Toro Rosso, he is going to be on the podium, barring any incident. He is in that P3 place. Let's have a quick look. I'm sure he started in P3 anyway. Let's have a look. No, he started in P4. So he started in P4, Ross Milburn. So he's gone up 1. Phil Harris up 7, started in 9-2. I mean, Phil Harris is going to be very, very disappointed with the way that worked out, especially with that glitch where he came out, because that lost him the opportunity to fight back with Dylan Platt, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You know, even if he lost the car into the barrier in a fight, that would be, you know, acceptable. Even if it would not have been fair play, you know what was going on, but getting to lose places by a glitch, that's never anything you want. You know?
Well, I guess you can liken it to a technical glitch in the real world, and they happen plenty of times.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be experienced that way.
Well, no, I don't think he's going to enjoy it. I don't think he's going to enjoy it either way, even if you make that comparison or not, because certainly real-world drivers don't enjoy it, so I don't think Phil will. But he's going to be at least pleased. He's going to pick up some valuable points in that P2 position, though, isn't he?
Yes, definitely.
So from that point of view, you know, he's picking up some valuable points for Williams and indeed for himself. At this moment in time, he's sitting P4. That's Sean Gregory. Obviously, he's not racing. So he's got the opportunity to get that bit closer to P3, Sean Gregory, and I think that's what he's going to be aiming for. So that's Phil Harris in P2. But Dylan Platt, what a race from Dylan Platt. He is going to be very happy with that, I'm absolutely sure. You know, he's fought hard, he's done a great race, started P1, finishing P1. Tom Stevens was leading the way, but unfortunately he had his issues, dropped down, he was looking to fight back, but Dylan just stayed out there, and he's done a great race, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's really done a great race. The overcut didn't, well, the undercut didn't work for him. No. He lost the place there, but
yeah, definitely.
He fought back.
Yeah.
Very good. And, well, you know, this is lap 61, up 61.
Yeah, final lap now. We'll stay on board with Dylan for this final lap as it is, and watch him over the line. But barring any incident, anything can still happen, even though he's on the final lap. But barring any incident, he will be coming through and just consolidating that, as you know, fantastic lead he's got at the moment. Tom Stevens gone out, so his next closest rival won't be picking up any points. Dylan Platt obviously be picking up the full points. I'm just trying to see, actually, let's have a quick look here and see who's done the fastest lap. Fastest lap is Ross Milburn.
Yeah.
So Ross Milburn's done the fastest lap with a 1:37.166. So great run from him. But Dylan Platt, he's going to be very, very pleased. He's going to pick up 25 points. So that all counts for him. It all adds up, so to speak, at the end of the day. Ross Milburn, obviously, he'll be picking up an extra point. So for that fastest lap.
Extra.
So he'll be picking up 16 points. Phil Harris will be picking up 18 points. Jamie Good, 12. Adrian Rich will be picking up 10. Sean Street picking up 8 points. Ryan Lear, 6. Cameron Widdowson, 2. And Tony Foster, 4. And Tony Foster, 2. And Dylan crosses the line in style, as always. Takes the win. So,
he creates a yellow flag.
He does create a yellow flag, but it's the end of the race. No great shakes. Phil Harris will come in, has come in second, and Ross Milburn has come in third. But I've got to say, Guido, Jamie Good, for me, I've got to concur with you. I think, you know, doing as he did, those laps on those tyres.
No, Ryan Lear lost it on the last corner.
No.
He's disqualifying himself.
Oh,
no, he didn't. He was lucky there.
So Jamie Good crosses the line, takes P4, but 56 laps. He came back, well, you know, fantastic run from him.
Yeah.
Really was a great run from him. 10 places. He gets driver of the day, I think, Guido, doesn't he?
Yeah, that would be my choice. I think it's awesome how the way he handled the hard compound tires, and it's just you know, the positions that he made, that he kept. He's driver of the day, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Jamie Good picks up driver of the day. But in the meantime, race winner Dylan Platt takes the win. Fantastic result from him. Second place goes to Phil Harris in the Williams, and third place goes to Ross Milburn in the Toro Rosso. Fantastic race from all the drivers. We hope you have enjoyed it. This Thursday, don't forget, we've got the F1 Tonight Netherlands League, and they will be racing here at Singapore. So don't forget to join us this Thursday, 7:30 UK time, 8:30 Central European time. And yes, it's going to be a good one, isn't it, Guido? Are you looking forward to that?
I'm looking forward to that. I hope it doesn't rain, because I'm not a rainy driver. But then again, I hope to see everybody there. And people, if you like this, if you liked our streams, if you like what we do, just share it. Try to be a member, also from the Xbox Club, and give us a like. And I'll see you Thursday.
Indeed. And next Tuesday, we will be with F1 Tonight UK at Sochi for the Russian Grand Prix. So don't forget to join us next Tuesday for race 16 of the season 1 for F1 Tonight UK. That's 7:30 UK time, 8:30 Central European time. Week Tuesday will be at Sochi. This Thursday we'll be at Singapore with Netherlands League, 7:30 UK time, 8:30 Central European time. We look forward to seeing you then. From me, it's good night.
And for me, it's definitely good night.
Good night, everyone. Take care.